Okay, ladies and gentlemen, the 2020-2021 NBA season is finally here. Merry Christmas, basketball fans. Finally, we're back. Even though it's been like 5 weeks.
2 weeks.
It literally feels like it never, ever ended. But and also, I think it's because like this time of the year goes by faster than any other time of the year, though, too.
It does, yeah.
So usually you're waiting through the summer.
Yeah, right. And I've been referring to the summertime for all these teams and stuff like that. I'm just like, well, it's not really the summertime. Just got to call it the off season. It's been like 3.5 weeks. It feels like so.
I know. Free agency was literally like 3 weeks ago.
Yep.
It's
crazy.
It still feels like off season's not even over. Like there's still so many moves that it feels like.
Yeah, there's people. A lot of those rookies from that Lonzo and Fultz draft are getting their extensions and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's true.
So yeah, there's still some moves being made as well. So
including Fultz.
Fultz got that yeah, dude. Man,
I thought that was a pretty good deal, honestly.
Really? I don't know, man. I was expensive. I was been curious about what Lonzo's gonna get in his extension.
My camera like blurry?
No, looks solid.
Yeah, but I thought it was okay.
No, I've been curious about what Lonzo's gonna get in his extension, and when I saw Fultz's numbers, I was like, damn, okay, Lonzo's probably. I mean, I'd rather have Lonzo than Fultz. So
I guess I don't know. Yeah, I think I'd rather have Lonzo than Fultz too, but I guess they're in different situations though.
Yeah,
like I wouldn't be surprised if the Pelicans just completely let Lonzo go.
I don't know. I like him as a playmaker, but you're right. They do have other playmakers on that team, so
they'll have to think about paying Zion eventually.
Yeah,
that's so far up the pipeline that you can't even let that.
Yeah, you're not really worried about that right now yet.
So we're gonna get into these playoff predictions, East and West. It's brutal. It's hard.
It's a little bit tougher than I thought it was gonna be.
Well,
especially with the play-in now.
Yeah, with the play-in. So the play-in, obviously, 10. You want to be in the top 10. You have a shot. 7 and 8 play each other. Whoever wins that game is a 7 seed. The loser of that game plays the winner of the 9 and 10 seed. 9 and 10 seed play game. The loser of the 7-8 game, the winner of the 9 and 10 game, those two teams play for the 8 seed. So you want to be in the top 10.
Okay.
If you're 9-10, you have to win twice.
Yeah.
If you're 7-8, you just got to win once and you're in. So if you're in the top 10, you're in the picture at least.
How do you feel about this? I like it.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
More like meaningful basketball. I can see a scenario though where like the 10 seed is just terrible, but they sneak in, but then they somehow get in the playoffs and it pisses people off. But that's kind of, just win.
Well, we'll get to those things because the people I have at my 9-10 is pretty fun in the East and in the West too. So I think those are going to be pretty good matchups, but we'll get into that.
Well, I think in the East, there's 7 teams I think and barring a disaster, that I think most people unanimously agree will make it. Mm-hmm. Where those teams are seeded, obviously that's a different story. But then the 8 through like 13 range, you can make an argument for anybody.
Yeah, yeah.
Of course, a lot of these things usually come down to injuries, unfortunately. And like we're not going to sit here and predict injuries because that's a weird thing to do.
Yeah, no one wants to do that. So
let's start East 15. Who do you think finishes last?
The New York Knicks, man.
The Knickerbockers.
They're not. I actually didn't mind their offseason.
No, yeah, they had a good offseason.
Not too bad. They didn't have any atrocious contracts. They got Worldwide West is there in the front office now. I think that happened about a year ago or something like that. But they're going in the right direction. But they don't have a lot of talent. Unless RJ Barrett can make a really big step. Hopefully he does. I like him as like a sort of point forward kind of guy, just kind of handling the ball and just being a big body. But no, I just don't think they're going to be very good, man. I don't know what it is. I thought I was really holding out hope that maybe like Westbrook would go there or something. But since that's not the case, they're going to be dog, I think.
Yeah, I have the Cavs at 15, but I have the Knicks at 14. Those two I think are pretty interchangeable in my mind. But only because like the Knicks have some solid young talent, but it's very raw.
Yeah,
like I think 100%. RJ still has a long way to go. Truthfully, and I personally I wasn't really sold on him last year, and I'm still not all that sold on him. At least being like a all-star caliber player, which you would want a top 3 pick to be. And then I think Obi Toppin is a nice player. He's had a good preseason, but I think he's raw as well. Defensively, the guy's gonna suck ass.
Yeah.
Like
Most of those guys are.
Yeah. And then Mitchell Robinson, I think is good. I think Mitchell Robinson's a little overrated, to be 100% honest with you. Like, I think he's really good in his role.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know if he's at the level that some Knicks fans think that he is. But you can have a good offseason and still be bad. Like, I think the Knicks had a good offseason.
Yeah, they're going in the right direction. They're trending in the right place. Yeah,
100%. So I think it'll be a tough year, but it's not the end of the world.
Yeah, agreed.
Especially since the next year's draft is going to be nuts.
Yeah, and it was not that bad of an idea to be, towards the bottom. So they're going to have, a lot of good opportunities there to sort of get a high draft pick there. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't know what kind of player they have. I feel like they need a guard. I think they need a guard. They do have a lot of forwards, even Obi Toppin and like Julius Randle. I feel like they're going to be kind of competing. I can't imagine both those guys on the court at the same time.
I don't know.
It's going to be a funky little. I mean, they're going to look pretty big out there at times too, which would be kind of fun. But I can't catch them. I can't imagine them be watching too many Knicks games this year.
And then what? Do you have the Cavs at 14?
Cavs at 14. Yeah. I mean, the only reason why I put them above right there, just because they have an all-star talent in Kevin Love.
True. Yeah. I didn't even really think about that.
That's really the only reason why I have them above the Knicks. But yeah, another one of those teams where hopefully you can see their young guys kind of develop a little bit more. Darius Garland and Sexton. I don't know. I was really big on Darius Garland too when he was coming in. He only played like 4 years in college.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, four games in college his freshman year. I thought the Lakers were going to get him low key that year.
Yeah, I remember that.
He's just a little too small. He doesn't get to the free throw line enough. I like his game a little bit, but he's just a little too small. So hopefully he can start attacking the basket a little bit more. But the Cavs, yeah, I mean they're in no man's land right now.
Yeah, they're going to be bad, but it is what it is
for a while. Yeah,
it is what it is. There's really nothing you can say about them. All right, who do you have at 13?
The Pistons. The Pistons. I thought they had the worst offseason out of anybody, but they're not the 15th pick for me. I still like their. Who did they draft again? Was that Killian Hayes? Yeah. I think he's just going to be getting a lot of playing time. Hopefully, I think he's going to be
starting point guard.
Possibility for rookie of the year because he's going to be playing a lot of. He's going to be playing a lot. But yeah, I mean, there's no shot of them. There's no shot of them even making the play-in tournament. I don't think so. Now, who do you have at 13?
I have the Bulls.
Okay, all right.
The Bulls are tough because last year, when we did our picks, I looked back at the picks last year. They were pretty good, actually. I was shocked.
Yeah? Okay.
But I had the Bulls making the playoffs last year. That was my big wild card.
Ooh.
But, of course, they had, like, coaching issues, and then, Lauri Markkanen had a letdown of the season. Wendell Carter was hurt. I think they could be good and, like, sneak into the play-in tournament.
Mm-hmm.
But you need Colby White to take a step forward. You need Williams to be like a rookie of the year candidate. You need Levine to put up the same or similar stats as last year, maybe a little bit better efficiency, only because he'd be asked to shoot less. You need Markkanen bounce back, Wendell to be healthy. I don't know. And they do have Billy Donovan now, which is an upgrade. But still, Billy Donovan has had his his flaws as well as a head coach.
Right. Yeah. They just have young talent that I'm more that I have a little bit more faith in than those other teams like the Cavs, the Knicks, and the Pistons.
I still feel like they're just a sleeper James Harden team too. I really do.
The Bulls?
Yeah.
What?
I just think they have good young talent, and they're a team that has been. They're a larger market team.
Yeah.
That I think is kind of hungry for another superstar. I like Levine a lot, but obviously he's not a superstar player. And then is he a free agent at the end of the season? No, I don't think so. But his contract's coming up soon, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
And
but I mean, if Harden has any say in this, no shot he's going to go to Chicago.
Well, I'm more saying like if Harden no longer has a shot, then Houston's like, yeah, we're just trading you.
Okay, yeah.
I think the Bulls could put together an interesting package.
Mm-hmm.
I think maybe they'd want to. If maybe they don't think like Lauri is a long-term piece or Levine, who was rumored to be shopped, supposedly, some people said.
Right.
Maybe
I didn't hear much about those rumors.
It was like a fringe rumor. I don't know if it was like a Bulls insider who was like, could be an insider, could just be a nobody.
Yeah, I mean, the reason why. Do you have do you have the Pistons at 12?
I have the Hornets at 12.
Woo! We have the Ooh.
We'll get
Okay.
to the
Hold on.
Pistons
Hold
in
on.
a second.
Okay. All right. The Bulls. Yeah. Okay. They just have. Yeah. I like their younger talent a little bit better. I mean, Levine obviously is 25, 26, 27 points a game score. I'm a little higher on marketing than most, I think. Yeah, you're right.
I love Laurie, but he was just a letdown year.
Yeah, last year he didn't play very well. I want to see if there's a possibility of him and Wendell Carter playing together, because Wendell was really hurt for most of the year last year. But I want to see how that can kind of mesh together. If they kind of see that they can't really play them together, maybe just try to drive up one of their trade values or something. But
yeah.
I don't know. I just like them. I like their young guys better than the other three below them. That's really the only reason why I picked them above.
Like we talked about the young guys. That's why I picked them to make the playoffs last year. Like they have intriguing young talent.
Right.
And some depth too.
Yeah,
Right.
sneaky. Yeah, I mean Satoransky, I think, is still there as a backup guard. A solid backup guard to Levine and Kobe White. So yeah, and yeah, you're right. Billy Donovan there, adding some structure to it too, is going to help out as well. But we're going to see what Levine wants to do. I think if he wants to just kind of put up his numbers and look to get traded, or if he wants to kind of be a team player kind of guy and sort of work with the rest of the roster to help out some of the younger guys, because he's kind of like the OG on the team, which is crazy to think. I don't really think they have any other veterans on the team, but I guess it's going to be kind of up to him to see how that team goes, where they end up.
I want to say like 13 through 9 for me.
Yeah.
Or really 8. Literally, I could see any of them.
Mm-hmm.
So at 12, I do have the Hornets.
Okay.
You say you had the Bulls at 12.
Yeah, the Bulls at 12.
I think the Hornets are a sneaky team. Like they have some good players.
Mm-hmm.
And it really will all depend on how LaMelo looks.
Agreed. Yeah, I'm a big LaMelo guy, so I have him at 11 coming up here in a little bit. Yeah, you're right. No, go ahead.
I just because he's gonna be the main initiator, I'm assuming.
Mm-hmm.
So he had some highlight plays in the preseason, but he was not very good scoring wise.
Yeah,
but
no,
it was what, 3 preseason games? Like you can't really take anything away from those games. But it all depend. Right. Like they have some interesting talent.
Mm-hmm.
With Gordon Hayward, I think that could be like a sneaky. Everyone clowned it, but it ends up being like a really a move that pays off in the short term at least.
Yeah, I mean maybe it might look like a really bad contract later down the road. I mean,
right.
It already kind of does look like a bad contract, but
it'll be a bad contract.
Yeah, but no, I like the Hornets. I like that the fact that they have a lot of playmakers on the court too. They have the option to have a lot of playmakers on the court. Like if they have LaMelo out there, and Hayward. And Devontae Graham playing with like PJ Washington and whatever, and then plug in your fifth like Bismack Biyombo or something. You have an opportunity to have like a lot of ball movement out there and a lot of guys that can make plays too. So they're all pretty smart players too. I mean LaMelo's passing. We've known this already. Yeah. You've seen the flash. We've already seen the flashes of it. I mean, his vision is insane.
That's something that almost always translates too.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Definitely. Maybe not the jump shot and everything, but at least the vision and the ability to kind of see stuff a couple steps ahead of other people. It's weird. I always thought that he was different between him and Lonzo. Is just that he could score and Lonzo could pass. Like there's just like this dichotomy between each other. But LaMelo's passing is incredible.
Yeah, he's got insane vision, and he's what 6'7", 6'8".
Yeah.
And has a big frame too.
Yeah. I mean, no, he's pretty slight, but at least he's tall. He's really tall though.
But he also has the frame though, like the broader shoulders where he could come into a.
Yeah, you're right. Exactly. Yeah. You saw Lonzo. You saw Lonzo make that jump. Like I think after his rookie year, he was like looking stout, bro. He came back in the summertime.
Yeah.
Tatted up and and jacked. I was like, all right. Well, hopefully Lonzo can kind of get that too. But I don't know. I like Lonzo a lot. I have them at 11. So I have them like fighting for that 10th spot, fighting for that playing seed. But who do you have at 11? Or if you want to go more on the Hornets, go ahead.
No, I'm done on the Hornets. At 11, I have the Hawks.
Mm-hmm.
I look at the Hawks team. I like
some
of the
moves. Okay, hold up. Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I like some of the moves the Hawks made.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking about it. I think their offseason's a little overrated. I think they're not going to be as good as people think. But when we get to our bold predictions, I don't know. Yeah. I don't know anything about that. I don't know about the Hawks. That's the thing. I have no idea. I think they could be a really good team. But I just can't help but ask who is playing defense on that team.
Yeah, agreed.
And then you have all of these bigs. All of a sudden, they don't extend John Collins. So is John Collins gone?
How does he feel? Right, exactly.
Because you have Capella now too. Think about that. Capella didn't play last year, and he's in the mix now, which I think will be amazing with Trey.
Yeah, I think as a role man, he's going to help a lot.
Like Capella's going to feast this year, and he might get 7 or 8 lobs a night.
Yeah, at least.
And then I like Bogey. I think Bogey got very overrated. I just think he did. I think he's a cool player, but I think that's pretty much the extent of it. I like Gallo, but he's not playing defense. And then Gallo muddies that 4 position way more than it already is.
Right, for the John Collins kind of play right there.
Right.
Yeah, Trae Young is tiny, man. He is so small.
And I love Trae Young. Like, I know it's a thing like Mavericks fans are supposed to not like Trae Young. I love Trae Young. I think he's an amazing player.
Yeah. No, he's just so small out there, dude. And it's you're right. Defensively, they're gonna have a lot of trouble out there. So, I have them in that 10 spot for kind of sort of playing in that playoff range or in that play-in range. But yeah, you're right. Who's going to be playing defense on this team? It's going to be Cam Reddish. Is going to have to take a step up there.
I think he can. He looked good in preseason. He looked really good to close the year last year.
DeAndre Hunter is going to have to be one of those guys that kind of locks up. And that's what he's there for, too. I think, partly he's there to kind of lock up those guys. But guarding the smaller guards of the Western Conference and even of the East, too, like with the net. I mean, who's going to guard Kyrie on this team? Who's going to guard Kemba for the Celtics? Who's going to guard Van Vliet for
You're
the
going to
Raptors?
need Kevin Huerter to make like a step that
to lock people down.
Right. Like everyone compares him to Clay, which was the most asinine shit I've ever heard to begin with.
It's just 2 weeks.
It's just because he's he has like a taller frame, he's a bigger shooting guard and he can shoot.
Yeah.
But he can't defend.
Yeah, no, he's nowhere near the defender that Clay is. But yeah, you're right. You're gonna be asking a lot on the defensive end for some of those guys that you might not would be asking in a perfect scenario or a perfect situation.
But I could also see it working out. Like that's the thing. They went and got I like them picking up Kendrick Dunn.
Kendrick Nunn went to the Hawks?
No, not Nunn. Dunn.
Oh, Kendrick. Oh, yeah. Okay. Okay. Word. Okay, bet. Yeah, I didn't know he went there either. Okay, bet.
Like I thought that pickup made a lot of sense.
Yeah, okay. Well, in that sense, he's a good guard to guard those smaller guys a little bit because he can defend really, really well. Offensively, he has some trouble, but he can defend really, really well. Hopefully, Trey can kind of pick up some pointers for him, just in terms of like spacing and where to be on the court.
I meant Chris Dunn, not Kendrick Dunn. I always do
Chris
that.
Dunn, yeah.
I always
Kendrick Dunn.
I always say
Kendrick
Kendrick Dunn for whatever reason because I think. Yeah, you guys know what I'm saying.
Chris Dunn.
And then Rondo too. I mean, Rondo can defend, but then it's like, so what? Are you gonna play? Because obviously you're gonna play Trey.
Right.
So then are you going to play Chris Dunn and Trey at the same time? I mean, I guess you could. We know Chris Dunn can't do anything on offense.
Yeah, he's going to be a negative out there. He's going to reduce your spacing, too.
You could play Trey off ball.
Yeah, you could have Trey off ball. And that's what I would hope. Yeah, that's what you'd hope to see a little bit this year for Atlanta, to kind of test him off ball. Because, I mean, just so far in his NBA career, short NBA career, but, I mean, it's just 1,000 pick and rolls, and he's so ball dominant. It's hard to get away from that too. We're seeing Harden now, like there's claims out there that he wants to play like this beautiful brand of basketball, but I mean, I don't know if you kind of, after having that burned into your mind where your style of play is just give me the ball, set me a screen, and then everyone spot up. I don't know. It could be hard. You could be kind of building bad habits there. So
that's a really good
point.
It'd
be a good idea for the Hawks to kind of move Trae Young off the ball.
I agree. So what'd you say? Where'd you say you had the Hawks at 10?
I'm at 10. Yeah.
All right, so 10 is where I have the Pistons.
That's nuts, bro. Make your case. Are we already in the hot take segment? What is this?
Maybe I'm nuts. I don't
make your case.
Remember, Blake was hurt all of last year.
Yep.
2 years ago, you could make the argument that Blake maybe had the best season of his career.
Was that his first year with the Pistons?
Yeah, his first full year.
Yeah. He played really. Yeah, I remember that. He played. I think he was like second team All NBA.
Yeah,
third team maybe.
So you'd have to bank on Blake Griffin coming back playing like that, and I get I get the argument for him not, because he's getting older. His game is very dependent on athleticism. He's coming off an injury, but he you could tell though 2 years ago he was expanding his game, and that's like the great thing about Blake Griffin is his entire career. He came in the league as like a high flyer, rebounder, but he's expanded his game tremendously. They bring in Jeremy Grant. I love Killian Hayes a lot.
Yes, yeah.
So that's a lot of it too. I think Killian Hayes will be the best pick in this draft. I really do believe that.
All right,
so
all right.
This is all what I'm making. I think Jeremy Grant comes in and shocks people. I think they have a really solid, score off the bench in D Rose.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's just again, I'm saying they're the 10 seed. I'm not saying they're the 6 seed.
Yeah,
and I also think
I'll give that to you.
13 and 10 could be pretty interchangeable to me too.
Yeah.
So their offseason was confusing, I know, and I don't think they made gigantic improvements, but
no.
10 seed. Where'd you have them again? You had them 13, right?
13. And when you say this now, it doesn't sound as crazy to me. Blake, you're right. He is he's a high level NBA player. I think still. He still has that opportunity. But yeah, you're right. He was making pull up threes.
Yeah,
pretty consistent in the corner from what I remember. From corner
playmaking.
He can play make. We know he's always kind of ahead of that for a little bit. He's had that for a couple of years now. I'm really spooked at the Jeremy Grant thing. I really hated what he had to say.
Yeah, it is spooky.
I mean, I'll respect him, man. Like, you do what you got to do, what you want to do, whatever. It's your life. But if he's gonna come in saying I'm gonna shoot 20 times a game, then I don't think that's a recipe for success. Now, if he's just being a role player, and allowing Killian Hayes to sort of step up and allowing Blake to be kind of maybe the initiator sometimes too, then I think they could possibly be in that 10 space, maybe 11 or 10 range. But the Jeremy Grant, I mean, the signings, obviously we don't have to go into the signings, and how much they got paid and stuff. But Jeremy, if he thinks that he's going to be an MVP candidate, then I think they're going to have a bad time.
Yeah, I agree. If Jeremy Grant came to the team thinking he was the MVP candidate, somebody in the organization has to shut that down immediately.
Yeah, bro, nah. Sit down somewhere, dog. This is not the place, not the time.
And I mean, do we think Dwayne Casey's a bad coach? I know some people do.
I don't know.
Maybe a little overrated.
With Toronto, we could say, we saw what happened.
It depends on
Nick Nurse gets there. Yeah, Nick Nurse gets there. I think, was it first year and he won the title?
Yeah, I mean, Dwayne Casey won Coach of the Year and got fired.
He got fired. I know, that's so rough, man.
That is. But yeah, I mean, I know. But again,
I could kind of see it. You made a strong case.
It's not like I have them at 10, so I have them in the play,
winning the East.
But I could see that. I mean, I'm way lower on the Hawks than most people,
mm-hmm.
and it's not even I want to be. You'll hear it in our bold predictions video.
Yeah,
I think the Hawks could be legitimately really good.
All right.
Yeah. Anyway, I have the Wizards at 9.
Wizards at 9. Okay.
I
have the Magic at 9. You go ahead.
Do you have the Wizards at 8?
Yeah.
Okay, that's interchangeable for me too. So I have the Magic at 8, Wizards at 9.
Mm-hmm.
I think the Wizards are we too high on the Wizards? Maybe do we think that Russ? Because the Wizards were terrible last year. Let's not forget, they were horrendous.
They were bad. Defensively is where they're really bad too.
Yeah, and did they improve that much defensively?
Yeah, maybe just the fact that I still think that Bradley Beal is a good defender, and I think the fact that maybe the offensive load is going to be. Oh, you're blurring out a little bit. There he goes.
There we go.
There he goes. And I think maybe the fact that the offensive load is going to be taken off of him a little bit, maybe would help him as a defender. He won't have to kind of carry the load so much. But yeah, you're right though. It's going to be a little spooky for both of those teams. I think Russell is, the way that he's kind of been talking and of course it's the mic'd up stuff and they're just sharing what the Wizards want us to see. And he just looks really friendly out there. And the way that he talks about, he's talking to his teammates and stuff. I think he just brings structure there a little bit. He played for Scott Brooks before in the past. Mm-hmm. He won an MVP. He won an MVP with Scott Brooks as a coach. I don't know. I just like the Wizards a little bit better than the Magic. The Magic I feel like they're just an eternal 8 seed. And I think the Wizards had a little bit better. With the addition of Westbrook and the re-signing of Bertans, I think they're going to be a little bit better than Orlando.
Man, Bertans is going to feast with Russ. That's something I haven't even really considered.
Yeah,
those
they're going to have a lot of they're going to have a lot of space. Thomas Bryant is a viable 3-point shooter at the 5.
No, Thomas Bryant offensively. Very good center.
Yeah, he really is. Surprisingly, bro. Shout out to the Lakers. Lakers.
True.
bred that one. So
it does kind of come down to defense though, because Bertans obviously is not moving the needle there. Thomas Bryant's not a good defender. No. Beal was graded out as like the second worst defender in the NBA last year. I mean, how much of that is though terrible team and, like you said earlier, carrying the entire load on offense?
Right. Yeah. And yeah, I don't know how much of a defender is Rui Hachimura and those other young guys too. I like the what's the rookie's name? Denny.
Yeah, I think he's gonna be a good player.
I like him, man. I like him a lot. Yeah, I like him a lot. He has some cojones on him. He's not scared of the moment or anything like that.
I don't know what they're gonna do with him, but I would like him being like the leader of the bench unit.
That would be fun. Yeah, that'd be fun.
Because he can run like a point forward.
Can he handle the ball a little bit?
Yeah.
Okay, word. Yeah, we'll take that. 'Cause I was going to kind of see if they needed someone else out there. But yeah, I mean, I think they have the Wizards have an opportunity for a lot of space on the floor when you have Thomas Bryant out there, Bertans, Beal, Westbrook as your kind of initiator, and then whoever is your three in that position right there. So I like the Wizards just a little bit. I like the Wizards just a little bit more than Orlando.
Yeah, I have the Magic 8. But like you said, they're just a perpetual 8 seed. But they got good players. If Jonathan Isaac was healthy, I'd be higher on the team than I am currently.
Yeah, that sucks, man. I hate that for Jonathan Isaac.
I know, Sam. But you are banking on like Fultz continuing to improve. Cole Anthony looking good, which he looked pretty good in the preseason.
Yep.
I mean, Vooch, Vooch, who he is.
Yeah. Fournier, Aaron Gordon.
Right.
They're just there. I mean, same
it's
sort
just
of team.
It's just a bunch of really good role players, honestly.
Yeah. I just don't really know. It's hard to see like what they would need. Like if they could just handpick any player from the league anywhere else, like who would they get? Like who would they
I think
take?
they just need like
a point guard,
a takeover level player, and then they'd be decently good, honestly.
Yeah.
Like if they were to get James Harden, I get like they're not going to get James Harden, but if they were to somehow wind up with James Harden.
Yeah, maybe that would help.
Like legitimately good, but like James Harden makes any team good.
It's a weird makeup of a team, but they're not bad enough to like drop down to like in the teen range or anything like that.
Right,
I still like them there.
100%.
In that sort of playing range.
Okay, so top 7. So the top 7, I think most people are pretty like in agreement of who is in the top 7 team. Like what teams are, where they rank. This was hard.
Yeah, this one was tough. This one was really, really tough. This one took the most time for me. The 1 through 7 right here in the East.
I have the Raptors at 7.
Okay, all right. I have the Pacers at 7.
Okay. Like again, these are all really interchangeable. So I don't want like any fan base to get upset or anything. Just like I think the Raptors could very easily finish 2 again. But it's just because how much is Serge Ibaka and Marcus Gasol's absence going to hurt the team?
Right.
I don't know because a lot of people are really high on Boucher.
They think that Baines can kind of fill in that role for losing those big guys. So yeah. I
mean, Baines provides you like the shooting. Baines can shoot, right?
Yeah, he shoots them.
Okay.
I mean, he's a little bit more confident now for sure. He was clanking them off the backboard in his Celtics days, but he's a little bit more consistent now.
I wanted to make sure I wasn't tripping and pulling who was that? Jay Williams who said Andrew Bogut could shoot.
Oh gosh,
and
he said that?
Yeah, but it was like really cringy because then he came out and did like a public apology, like anybody actually cared. He was like, "Hey, I just want to apologize, guys. Like, I know Aaron Baines is, or I know Bogut's not a shooter." It's like, all right, dude, relax.
What?
It's like nobody actually cares. So I just think I don't know. Like I said, 1 through 7, I think maybe like the top 2 or 3 are pretty, not head and shoulders, but they're kind of in a separate tier. But everyone else is like really interchangeable. So I just have the Raptors at 7.
Raptors at 7. I respect it.
Because also, Kyle Lowry's a year older.
Yeah.
But I mean, his game though, he's just such a smart player and everything. That, like his game will age well.
Yeah, I kind of think so too. He does rely on like that start and stop, and like he's really just like sporadic all out there. So hopefully that doesn't turn into like some like injury, like a bad injury or anything like that. And when he gets a little bit older, but but he's one of those guys too. They can let him go. I mean, I think he's on an expiring contract now, so they could trade him away too if they kind of see that. I don't think they're going to drop to a point where they wouldn't make the playoffs or anything. Right. But if they get a good deal for him, if some team wants a Kyle Lowry type of player before their playoff run or something, I could see that happening as well.
And it's like, was Siakam's struggles in the bubble? Was that just a bad stretch or?
I think those are real struggles, man. I really think they were.
I think so too. I mean, you know me and Siakam. I don't like the guy as a player. I don't care about him as a person, obviously. But I just don't like him.
Yeah, no, I think those are real. I think offensively in the half court, we can see like they have a lot of trouble. And I think that Marc Gasol's passing ability could kind of help them out a lot in the half court. And Ibaka's ability to stretch the floor would help them out a lot too. And they're going to be losing both those guys. So yeah, you're right. It's going to be Boucher is going to have a little bit more of a role, which I like. I'm a Boucher guy. I don't know. I'm a Boucher guy.
I mean, I've seen a lot of people think he wins most improved. So like people are high on him.
Oh, it's a possibility too.
And if he is like that, then they're going to be better than the 7 seed. Right.
Yeah. But I mean, I have him right there, dude. I have him at the 6 seed. So who do you have? Who do you have at the 6 seed?
I have the Heat.
Okay.
Remember, these are all super interchangeable.
Of course.
But the Heat did go on a Cinderella. Like it's a little naive to pretend like that wasn't a Cinderella run.
Yeah.
It was a Cinderella run. It just was. They're a very good team and a very young team.
Yeah.
And I think you can make the argument that they're very ahead of schedule.
Definitely.
But I think they're going to be really good again. Like I do think they're going to be really good.
I don't think they're making the finals again. But I don't know, like with the Bucks, I don't know what really problem they addressed. Like the reason why Miami beat them. I'm not sure if they really addressed that reason. Like it was.
Wait, you have the Bucks at 6?
No. In terms of Miami, like the reason
you're talking
why,
in the playoffs. Okay.
Yeah, why Miami was able to beat
right.
Milwaukee. I don't think Milwaukee really like addressed those issues, and Miami. I mean, they lost Jay Crowder, which was gonna hurt their like flexibility, defensive flexibility.
But they bring in Avery Bradley though.
Avery Bradley's there, so guarding wings or guarding those guards and stuff like that is going to be a little bit easier. But guarding the wings and those bigger type players, might have to have. I mean, Derek Jones isn't there either.
Yeah.
So he's not going to really be able to fill that role.
I mean, Iggy, I guess. Jimmy,
yeah,
obviously.
How much does he have left? Jimmy's going to obviously have to be checking a lot of dudes, and maybe that's what his role is going to be. Maybe his role is going to be like, I'm going to have to check these guys, and then offensively, Hero take a step up. Duncan, always be ready to shoot and all that kind of stuff like that. But a little bit lower than I had him though.
Where do you have him?
You had him what? You had him what, 6?
Yeah, but is it also crazy to say the Heat are like a built sort of like a playoff team though?
Meaning like they're just gonna get there, and then once they get there, they're gonna be a threat to anybody.
Because remember, Dragic went nuts in the playoffs, and he was a gigantic reason why they made the finals. Like, can you expect? Because what is it? 72 games this year, right? At Dragic's stage in his career, can you really expect 72 years? Kendrick Nunn really got exposed there towards the end of in the bubble. What is he even going to be? Tyler Hero was going nuts, but is that like Tyler Hero as? My God, talk about overhyping to the max.
I'm a huge Hero guy, bro.
I mean,
like
he's
him
nice,
still.
but wow, like not trading for James Harden, you guys are nuts.
Yeah. To see him as an untouchable, I mean, I don't know. Maybe they just want to show like what their culture is about and how they feel about things.
The Heat culture, dude. The Heat culture. Every team in the NBA is training. They're all working out. Like this is nothing new.
The Heat culture is different, bro.
Jimmy Butler in the gym at 3 a.m. It's like okay, the Jimmy Butler goes to sleep at whatever time, and everyone else is in the gym when Jimmy Butler's asleep. So
or he's asleep during the middle of the day.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, you're right. To see that he was untouchable, they went ahead and signed Bam too before Giannis signed his extension too. Maybe they just want to show that like we care about these young guys and we want to groom them into being who they are. We don't have to be like this.
We talked about Bam and Giannis shared an agent.
Yeah.
So that was kind of like a foreshadowing that.
Yeah, maybe the age he's like, he's gonna stay there. So let's just sign.
Yeah. But I love Bam. Like I absolutely love Bam. And that was one thing I saw. I looked through my predictions Google Doc last year. I was so high on Bam. So high on him.
Really?
Yeah.
That's right. You got that right.
But I mean, like, right for sure. That's not that crazy because a lot of people were.
Yeah. I mean, he had an awesome year last year. And I think he's only going to be better. He's only going to be smarter on the defensive end, which he's already awesome at. He's already great there. And just being their anchor. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see what the Hero can do in an even larger role now. With a little bit more of a target on his back. I think last year they were just like, wow, look at this kid, and they're just kind of like, it was cool to see.
Yeah.
Now they're going to be after them a litly bit because he talks his mess for sure. So.
Oh, I love Tyler Hero, but I think he's just a little overhyped.
Yeah. Yeah. He's getting a ton of hype, but I think kind of deservedly so. I mean, to be that young and playing as well as he did on that high of a stage,
True. I mean,
is crazy.
Maybe I'm going.
But I do want to see in a playoff environment where, it's crazy. It's
that's
loud,
true too.
That's a different playoff environment.
100%.
So it'll be interesting. But I don't see him as a guy that's kind of shies away from the moment either.
So where did you have the Pacers?
The Pacers have them 7.
I had the Pacers at 5. I think the Pacers are going to be a little bit better than people think. It all really kind of depends on Oladipo and how he looks.
Yeah, Oladipo is going to be big for them too. Yeah, I guess you have him a little bit higher than. I guess you have a little higher expectation for him. I don't think he's going to be a 28-game guy.
I don't think so
anymore.
It's more defensively for me.
What he's going to be able to do on defense.
Because they could be really good defensively, like really good with Brogdon. And if Victor Oladipo is kind of... Because Victor Oladipo's always been a good defender.
Yeah.
So if he can get back to that. And then you have Miles Turner, obviously.
Right. TJ Warren, I'm not sure how well of a defender is, but offensively, at least, that dude's he's a gamer. So
right.
I really wanted Gordon Hayward to go there. I thought that would have been awesome. I think they could have put him a little bit higher if he went there, just as like a playmaker for that team. Because I think Brogdon's a solid playmaker, but I think him being like an off-ball guy would be a little bit better for that team. I don't really know if I want TJ Warren initiating offense because he's not much of a playmaker, but I mean he can definitely score though. Sabonis, super high on Sabonis. Miles Turner, like what's going on there? Do you think they trade him or?
I don't know. Like it feels like they've been shopping Miles Turner his entire career.
I know. How
like
does he
I've
not
always
want to
heard
get out of there?
Miles Turner in trade talks every single season since he's been in the league. But I don't know. Like he'll probably either be traded or just a guy who goes somewhere else in the offseason.
Yeah.
Like he's one of those weird players who came in the league like looking really good and looked like he was maybe going to turn into like a top center in the NBA, but then he just never really progressed.
Yeah, it didn't pan out like that. Yeah.
But I mean, he's still a good player.
Better.
But like,
yeah
exactly.
Solid.
He just didn't really like take any giant leaps or anything.
Yeah. Yeah, the Pacers at 7. Not the Pacers at 7. I just couldn't put them above those other 6 teams. Raptors, Sixers. I didn't want to disrespect the Raptors because I put the Raptors at 6. And I could see them easily being like a 4 seed just because they always outgun their expectations. I heard an interesting stat like the other day that Masai Ujiri, since he's been there, they've hit over on their season win totals every year.
Really?
So so it's just one of the things where I don't really want to count them out. I didn't want to put the Pacers above them, so I just put the Pacers at 7 and the Raptors at 6.
Yeah. So who did you have at 5?
5, I have the Sixers.
Oh,
I have the Heat above them. Yeah, 5 have
so
the
then,
Sixers.
wait, who's at 6?
Raptors.
So 7 Pacers, Raptors,
6 Raptors,
Sixers.
And 5, number 5, I have the 76ers. Yeah.
So what's your rationale for having the Sixers at 5?
For me, it was the 3 teams, the 1 through 3, Bucks, Nets, Celtics. I mean, those were my 1 through 3 at least. I thought they were in like a tier zone a little bit, and then it goes to that 4, 5, 6 range. The Heat, Sixers, Raptors, and I think any those 3 teams can kind of
be interchangeable
a little bit too, right? The Sixers, I mean, obviously on paper, they're gonna fit better. They have more shooters out there and all that kind of stuff like that. I just don't like. I don't see Doc Rivers is not like this. He's a great defensive coach. Offensively, I don't think he's drawn up like incredible. I don't think he's drawn up like this awesome offense to figure out this conundrum that is Simmons and Embiid together.
Yeah.
So that's the reason why. I mean, I think obviously they're talented, and it's going to be a little bit easier for them to kind of figure stuff out. They have a little bit better fit, adding Curry there, Danny Green, just to have some spacers out there on the floor. I think they're going to fit a little bit better, but I don't think that Doc Rivers was really like the key to all their answers. But yeah, I could see them being better than the Heat. I could see them at 4 right there, and then the Heat sliding to the 5 seed right there. I just think that I would love to see what they do. I mean, I guess there's still a possibility. I did not factor in the Harden trade in this at all.
Yeah, me either.
You didn't? I didn't.
No.
Okay, so I didn't really think about like the possibility of them trading for Harden. But yeah, I don't know. I didn't think Doc Rivers was just the guy that's gonna be is gonna figure all of this out. Maybe Daryl Morey in the back end of it can do. I mean, and you can see he's doing that a little bit better job in terms of the construct of the roster, but on the court in terms of X's and O's and their offense. We'll see. I want to see. I'm interested to see what Doc Rivers has to do.
Yeah. So you had them at 5.
Got him at 5.
And you had the Raptors at 4, or the Heat at 4.
Heat at 4. Raptors at 6.
At 4, I have the Nets.
Okay.
If only because I think the Nets are like maybe a top 2 team in the East, but I think that it'll take a little bit. Remember, these are like a final like projection thing. Mm-hmm. So the Nets starting off slow would not surprise me at all.
Makes sense.
While like Kyrie and KD sort of get back into the groove and then find their groove together, because obviously they didn't play together last year at any point. KD's coming off an Achilles. Kyrie's coming off of whatever it is.
Burning
Kyrie's going, whatever it is Kyrie's doing. So
Kevin Durant though, man. And I'm sorry, you go ahead.
Let's there's potential there for a complete and total meltdown. The potential is there because you have Steve Nash as a coach.
Yeah.
And let's think of all of these like really good NBA players, point guards who become head coaches in recent years.
Yeah.
Has any of them worked? I'm thinking of Derek Fisher, which was a disaster.
That was bad.
Jason Kidd. Disaster.
Not too great. Yeah.
Like, has there been any recent player, a good player in recent memory that's become a coach?
Of my head. I remember Phoenix when they had I forgot. He was the interim coach and then he became the head
JB
coach
Bickerstaff
afterwards. No, not Bickerstaff. No, not JB Bickerstaff. It was he was a guard for like 10 years in the league. I forgot, but he kind of flamed out too. I mean, he got fired like 4 games into the season. I think I want to say.
Right.
That was a couple of years ago. But yeah, you're right. No, the track record isn't well. But did you hear about what his plans are for the offense?
What is it?
I read a report the other day that Steve Nash
they have D'Antoni there too.
Yeah, D'Antoni's there too. Yeah, you're right. That's a good point. Basically, they're just gonna. Steve Nash, I think verbatim, said they're gonna be freestyling on offense for a good amount of this season.
Yeah, that doesn't shock me because you have 2 of the better ISO players in the NBA in KD and Kyrie.
Right.
And then Dinwiddie and LeVert too. Honestly.
Mm-hmm. I think you need really high IQ basketball players to be able to like freestyle in offense. Mm-hmm. I know those 2 guys and Durant and Kyrie are that. The other guys we'll have to see for them to not have any structure or anything like that. I'm interested to see what happens there, but yeah, it's gonna be a super interesting year. You're right. There is a possibility for implosion there. Kyrie already backtracked his comments about like the head coach thing.
Yeah,
which I thought was cool to hear, nice to hear.
Yeah. Wait, what did he say again? That they don't need a head coach?
He said like, I don't really see us having a head coach. I can see like me being a head coach one day, or you, Kevin, being a head coach one day, or like DeAndre being a head coach one day.
Do we cut in Kyrie any slack and say that he's just like a master trolling?
This isn't a joke. This is all from
I don't know.
His heart.
Like, is Kyrie just deep down just a hilarious person who's just like, dude, watch this?
And he goes home and he makes webcam videos like, all right, now I'm going to tell the media that we don't have a head coach.
He's just like, he's FaceTiming KD and he's like, watch this one, dude. This is going to be hilarious.
That'd make the story a lot better. But no, he backtracked those comments about the head coach thing, which I think it's a sign that implosion is not as inevitable.
Yeah.
But you're right. There's a possibility of it for sure. But talent wise, I mean, to see what Kevin Durant's already looking like off an Achilles tear, dude, this is something like I've never seen this before.
He's got a game like he has a game. I wouldn't say similar to old Dirk because it's really not, but similar in the sense that he can shoot from anywhere. He's 7 feet tall. He'll shoot over you.
Right.
He gets to his spots.
Yeah.
Like he's going.
Yeah, you're right. He has the ability to shoot over anybody. So like that's something that is not necessarily like I wouldn't be too worried about or anything. But even his explosion, like I've seen him just catch, rip through, and then just go straight to the basket when something that like you'd think that you'd be a little bit more hesitant on coming off an Achilles tear like that. But it's really, really impressive to see. I'm really glad that he's looking healthy, coming off of like the worst injury you can have in basketball. So
right. I mean, the Achilles tear stuff though is always weird looking at like old examples of that because usually it's an injury that typically older players get.
Right. Kobe in his later years.
Right. So it's a little
Isaiah Thomas in his later years too. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a little like misleading, pointing to that when you have an older Kobe who is already declining a little bit.
Oh yeah, he was on the back. Yeah, I mean he's on the
tears Achilles
17,
and then on top of that, you have like a year off. So what? By the time he plays, he's a whole year older already. Yeah. 2 years older.
Yeah.
So I don't know. But I
Yeah,
do
you're
like.
right.
I think they'll be really good. I'm just again, it's a final seeding prediction, so I wouldn't be surprised if remember the first year of the Heat when LeBron and D Wade and all them went. They struggled like the first 20 games.
I think they were 9-8.
Yeah, they were like 500 20 games into the season.
Yeah. So there's a possibility of that too. Where do you have them? The Nets?
4.
That was your 4 seed. Okay. I have Miami at the 4 seed there.
At 3, I have the Celtics.
3 Celtics. Okay. Oh, you're okay. All right. I have Celtics at 3 as well.
I think the Celtics are really good. Like I think didn't we all predict them last year before the playoffs to make the finals?
I think so. Yeah, I think I had Celtics. I think I had the Celtics in the finals. Yeah.
I think
they were pretty
team.
close.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Tristan Thompson would be a lot better for them than I think that's a very low key underrated move. Defensively, I'm not entirely sure about him. They're still going to have some issues there, but rebounding wise.
Yeah, definitely rebounding. They got destroyed. I mean, the reason why they lost to Miami was just getting Tice being just manhandled by Bam. So that's an answer to that. And it's a play that they've been looking for a long time. They've always looked for a rim runner.
Mm-hmm.
They've been looking for just a solid, a hard screen, hard roll kind of guy for a long time now. They really haven't gotten their hands on one. And yeah, I think he's gonna be really good for them. I think Tristan Thompson would be really good for the Celtics too. So, but I do think they're gonna miss. I mean, you didn't want to pay Hayward all that money and stuff like that, which is understandable,
right?
But I think they're gonna miss his playmaking a lot.
Oh, they'll miss
him
for sure.
Playmaking a ton. Yeah.
But,
and no more Wanamaker too. Honestly, I mean, I'm not a huge Wanamaker guy, but no more Wanamaker as that backup guard role.
They bring in Jeff Teague though.
Jeff Teague is there. Yeah. Was that you that said he's the most boring player in the league?
I said I just don't like him.
You don't like him? Okay,
I just don't know what it is.
About it. But yeah, there's gonna and then with Kemba out for that first part of the season, they're gonna be relying on him a little bit more. Let's see what Tatum can do. Let's see what Jaylen Brown can do. Jaylen Brown's been in a lot of trade rumors too. So
I think rumors though made by fans though.
Made by fans, really? There's nothing with like substance into it.
I think it's more just if the Celtics. I think it's just like so reports are like Celtics are semi-interested in Harden, and it's just like okay, 1 + 1 = 2. If the Celtics want to trade for James Harden, Jaylen Brown obviously, because you'd imagine Jason Tatum's off the table.
Right.
So it would be Jaylen Brown, and then maybe I don't even know who else.
Some picks or something. I don't know.
Right.
Maybe I don't know what it is, but
can like Jason Tatum make that step to an MVP level player?
I hope so. I mean, we'll get to the West in a little bit because they're putting your boy over there. He already won the MVP 2021. So
that scares me.
We'll get there. We'll get there. But yeah, I mean, maybe he can get an All NBA nod. I don't know if Tatum has been All NBA yet. I don't think he has.
I think was he not third team last year?
Or was he? Okay, I don't know. I mean, he's that type of player. So, if he can sort of be there in that position, that'd be great. That'd be awesome too. So I mean, I think they're gonna rely on. I think we're gonna need to see a little bit more playmaking from Tatum too this year, just because with the Gordon Hayward being gone, Kemba being out a little bit at the beginning of the year.
Tatum made third team.
Third team, okay, that's solid. That's great. Then maybe it's Jaylen Brown's turn to possibly make a third team, which would be really tough. I mean, if he did that, then he must have had a stellar year. But I think the next step in Tatum's game is that playmaking aspect. He can sort of be, if he learned a little bit from Hayward in terms of being able to just keep your head up a little bit more on the offensive end and not be so scoring oriented, then that's where that next leap is for him. And if he can make that, then I think he can. Yeah, I think a 3 seed is solid for them, and they could even be a 2 seed too.
He's such a perfect player in the modern age.
I know, dude. 6'8", can score just at
Shoot,
will from all 3 levels. Defend,
like you said, the playmaking would be a huge step because that's also where the league is going to.
Yeah, guys that can be able to do all those things. So
and I think he's capable of it.
Yeah, I think so too. I think he's his handle's a lot tighter now than it was in the beginning, like when he first came into the league too. So I think having confidence in your handle can kind of allow you to keep your eyes up a little bit more too, so that you can see guys cutting or whatever that is and stuff like that. So
right. So we both have the Celtics at 3. So then you have the Nets at 2.
Mm-hmm. So you have the Sixers at 2.
I have the Sixers at 2.
Wow, you're high on these guys. Okay, well, okay. I kind of gave the bad case for the Sixers, and you want to make the good case for the Sixers?
Well, here's the thing, right? Remember I was talking about our last year projections. I had the Sixers as the 1 seed last year. So I'm just for whatever and then I had the Sixers as I had put Sixers number 1 in offseason rankings.
Yeah.
I thought they had the best offseason. So for whatever reason, I think just subliminally, because I don't even really care about the Sixers at all. I don't like Philly at all, like the city of Philly sports wise. But I just love the Sixers, I guess.
Are you turned into a Philly guy?
I don't know. I guess so.
Not the Eagles, obviously.
No, definitely not the Eagles. But I just think they finally have shooting.
Case. Yeah.
Finally, like legitimately good shooting.
Yeah.
Seth Curry, Danny Green, like even I think that could be a nice pickup.
Yeah.
Obviously, you're banking on him returning to form a little bit. Mm-hmm. But Danny Green is just such a solid pickup because they didn't give up anything to get him. Mm-hmm. Really? They gave up a Horford and like a second-round pick, was it? Or was it a first-round pick? I don't remember.
I think it was
a first-round pick.
Yeah. Or was it a first-round
I think it was this year's first. I could be wrong. Mm-hmm. But you get a 3-and-D guy who comes in. Obviously, their identity is defense. He can shoot, but he's also a good defender. You know, Seth's not doing that for you. But really, if Seth's on the court, you might be running a lineup where 4 guys can defend, so it doesn't really matter that Seth can't.
Yeah.
But I'm also
can be out there.
The more I think about it, dude, I am so high on Ben Simmons now.
Oh, really?
I am so high on Ben Simmons.
Yeah, I love Ben Simmons.
But I'm not high at all on Joel.
So if you were in their position, you would trade Embiid. I would too. And I would too.
I want to save that conversation for our bold predictions.
Okay. All right.
But yes, I think you and I would be in agreement there. Like me, big time. Like it's not even a question to me.
Oh, I have some internal struggles, but I think I'm there as well with you. But we'll get to that later.
But I just think you have two all NBA level players. You have somebody who low key, honest to God, might be the best defender in the NBA, and Ben Simmons.
Yeah, I think he might too. I mean,
the
in
most
terms
versatile.
Yeah.
Can guard literally anybody on the court. I mean, obviously, like against really, really skilled centers, he'll probably struggle a little bit.
Yep.
But could guard anyone on the court. Obviously, you know, him not shooting is an issue. Is it as big as an issue as some people think? No. Is it as little as an issue as like Sixers fans might think? No. It's an issue.
Yeah.
But it's not like I don't know.
He's not a terrible NBA player because
right.
He can't. Right. Yeah. And especially now, if you're able to get some other shooters around him too, then it's gonna open the floor for him and Embiid too. So
I think scoring on this team is just gonna be hard.
Scoring on them, yeah. No, you're right. I mean, when they have a lineup of Simmons, if Thibault's out there too, because he's an incredible defender. Danny Green's out there as well. Maybe you can put in Seth there just so you can have some shooting on the floor. Or if you put in Tobias Harris out there as well, you can kind of play him and then Embiid out there as well. Defensively, they're gonna be some trouble. Really, a lot of length. Kind of reminds me of, I think it was the 2016 Thunder. They just had a ton of length out there. Russell, I mean, he's not huge, but he's a bigger point guard at least. And then they had Robertson and Robertson, whatever his name is. KD, Ibaka, and Adam. Like they were just, you felt like.
Was that when Grant was there too? Or was that before Grant?
No, I don't think he was there. Yeah, I don't think he was there. Or he might have been a young buck if he was there. I don't remember.
But I think that was like a little bit before he came.
Yeah. They just had a ton of length out there, and it just felt like they stretched from sideline to sideline, and like you just can't get through them, you can't get past them, and that's the same sort of like feeling and vibe that I get from Philadelphia on the defensive end for sure. We're gonna see what Doc Rivers can kind of help out in that sense, but yeah, offensively is where I'm curious to see like what their half court set is gonna look like, you know, what they're gonna be like, how they're kind of gonna look on that end.
Me too. It is a little spooky.
But no, they're a good team. They have a possibility. Like I don't think it's crazy for you to have them at that 2 seed. I have the Nets there, and you're right. There's a possibility of the Nets being, just taking a little bit to get their stuff together. So I mean, it's not crazy. It's not crazy for the Sixers to be up there.
And then we both had the Bucks at 1.
Yeah,
just a really good regular season team. They're very, very good.
Yeah, exactly. Good
playoffs,
regular season team. But
there's some questions for sure.
Yeah, playoffs is iffy, but yeah, we're gonna see what happens there.
Are they still the best defensive team in the NBA?
Yeah, I think they will be.
I agree.
Yeah, I mean they lost Bledsoe, but I mean Drew Holiday is a great defender as well. So, I think they'll be up there as well. They'll be up there.
Do we put any stock in the fact that the Mavs beat that ass twice in the preseason.
In the preseason, they beat them twice.
Yeah.
Did Giannis play in any of those games?
Well, there's the second time. This is what I was thinking. I was like, the second time felt like it was the day before Giannis signed his extension, and the second game almost felt like the Mavericks were like auditioning for Giannis. Like, but the second game, both teams played like it was a real game.
Okay.
But then like towards the end of the game, obviously they subbed out their guys.
Right.
But I'm joking mainly, obviously.
Mainly.
But they could be a little bit slow starting too, maybe. I mean, if Drew's going to be their starting point guard, which most people think he is, maybe that takes some time. But I don't know, because the rest of their team has been established. And, Giannis obviously is the guy.
Yeah, I think he's just going to plug and play pretty well there. I can't imagine them starting off too slow or anything. I think there's going to be there's going to be like a jolt of energy in there now, knowing that Giannis is going to beat, like, he signed his extension.
Right, 100%.
And that's not really like looming over them. So, I mean, I could see them getting off to a really hot start too, and having again an incredible regular season. But I mean, you see what happens in the playoffs when the game slows down. But that's always the question with them. So
that was a really good point. If Giannis didn't sign, I could maybe have seen a potential of like, super stressed. And that stress sort of boiling over.
Right. That's a possibility of it.
Giannis signing his extension is obviously massive. And I guess we could double back on that, because remember in our preseason rankings, what our offseason grades, the Bucks were like 12.
Yeah,
but we did say that they would be like number 1 or 2 if Giannis signed a Supermax.
Yeah, right, exactly.
So they jumped right up.
That. Yeah, they're up there now.
So do you want to just really quick go 15 through 1, give your list again, just to remind the audience?
Yeah, for sure. 15, the Knicks. 14, Cavs. 13, Pistons. 12, Bulls. 11, Hornets. 10, Hawks. 9, Magic. 8, Wizards. 7, Pacers. 6, Raps. 5, 76ers. 4, Heat. 3, Celtics. 2, Nets. Number 1, Bucks.
For me, it was 15 Cavs, 14 Knicks, 13 Bulls, 12 Hornets, 11 Hawks, 10 Pistons, 9 Wizards, 8 Magic, 7 Raptors, 6 Heat, 5 Pacers, 4 Nets, 3 Celtics, 2 Sixers, and 1 Bucks. So do you agree with my sentiment, though, that those 7 teams?
Yeah. I think I like that. I think the only possibility is maybe the Wizards, if they figured out like really soon and they look really good, and maybe the Pacers kind of falling out. I'm not as high on the Pacers, but I think that they've had a good structure for a good amount of time now, and they didn't make any like drastic changes. And then you have the player with and the Oladipo's ability, and we'll see how good he looks. Maybe they could fall to that 8 seed, but yeah, I think that 7 through 1 is like kind of locked in, is set in stone there.
So let's get to the West. The West. Oh,
the West is tough.
The West is damn really near impossible, because a really good team has to miss.
Yeah,
like a really good team. Yeah. And it's impossible to do preseason predictions. What it's gonna come down to, a lot like last year. Some teams are going to have really bad injury luck, and they're going to fall out.
Yep.
Like, that's just going to inevitably be what happens.
Right.
But obviously, we're not going to sit here and be like, I think that Donovan Mitchell, like, we're not going to say stuff like that, because that's putting really bad energy.
Yeah, no, yeah, we're not doing all that. We'll just base this on a healthy roster.
Yeah.
And then go from there. So
Thunder at 15?
Yeah, Thunder 15. Yeah.
There's really nothing to say. They're going to be bad. Like, obviously, last year they were supposed to be bad, but Chris Paul was like,
just will them.
Right. Al Horford is their old all-star this year, and I don't see that.
No. I'm excited to see SGA and just give me the ball and kind of work around him. I think he's a really good player. Well, I'm interested to see what he kind of does in this role now. So
100%.
I mean, that's gonna be fun. I'll tune into a couple Thunders games just to watch SGA a little bit. So, but yeah, 15. And not really much up to say for that.
And also the difference this year is, because this last year's draft, or this past draft, I guess, not a lot of high-end talent, and that. Next year's draft is for real. So these teams are going to like try to be bad now at this point.
Yeah, and they have like every draft pick in the future. So good deal for them.
So at 14, who do you got?
I have the Kings.
I have the Kings here too.
You do? Okay, all right.
I like that.
Lose Bogdanovich.
Yeah, they lose Bogdan.
Yeah.
It's weird because I said that he was like one of the most overrated players in the NBA now, but then they're like, yeah, the Kings lose Bogdan.
It still hurts for them. It still hurts for them.
But it's like the West is so hard. So like saying that you're 14, that's not even necessarily saying you're a bad team.
Yeah, it's interesting to see. Where would you put them? I'd maybe even put them in like an 11 seed in the East.
Yeah, they'd be around there.
I mean, who knows? But I don't want to do that with every team here. But you're right. Just the West is just a little bit deep. It's just really deep. You're just waiting for. Hopefully, Bagley can make a jump this year. I mean, if he's healthy, Buddy Hield is shooting like 1,000 threes a game in the preseason. Have you seen that?
Yeah, that's an interesting thing to keep an eye on because he's been very vocal about not wanting to be there.
Yeah, and we'll see. I mean, and he's just gunning from three.
So that's something that can hurt the team.
Yeah, right. If there's just like this,
Luke Walton's still their head coach.
He's still there. Yeah, I can't. It's crazy. I'm a huge Luke Walton guy. Luke, you're a rotation guy on our Lakers team. Those championships in the 2009, 2010. But man, as a coach, it's just it's looking pretty rough out there.
Yeah.
I heard that Buddy wasn't even like returning his calls and stuff like that.
Yeah, Buddy is done. So that's actually something I considered when ranking. I was like, they got their second, third best player is like just actively not wanting to be there and like sabotaging the team.
Halliburton is, I mean, a rookie that a lot of people like.
Good pick.
So that's a possibility that he can sort of, but like that's going to be important. Can he play off of ball? Can he play off ball with De'Aaron, or can De'Aaron play off ball?
It is a strange fit because he's like a ball handler.
Yeah, right. That's going to be interesting to see.
And then De'Aaron has improved like drastically each and every year in the league.
Yeah.
So if he does that again, I mean, he's making a step to all-star star status. Mm-hmm. Can he do that?
There's so many guards now. There's so many guards in the West. It's going to be really tough for him to get there. But I love De'Aaron Fox. I love his game. I love his attitude too. He cut his hair though, so I don't know. Maybe I think he lost power.
Really?
Power now.
He did have one of the cooler haircuts.
I like his hair back. So now he cut all his hair off. But it's been a little bit now, but hopefully he didn't lose his powers because of that or anything. But I don't know. I love his game too. I mean, his athleticism is out of this world. I mean, I don't know if there's anyone faster end to end on the court than him in the league. So and just with that, I just think that I couldn't put them above the other 13 teams that I have above them. So I still kind of like their roster makeup.
I mean, maybe they shocked some people. Were they in the bubble, weren't they? All right, so we took a tiny little break. The Kings were in fact in the bubble.
They were in the bubble. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. They made it in there. But yeah. Okay. So that's a big drop off for them then to drop to 14.
Well, only two teams didn't make the bubble in the West.
Oh yes, you're right. The
exactly. Timberwolves, and I kind of see it being the same thing this year, where I think the Thunder will be bad.
Yeah.
Should be. I mean, we said the same thing last year, but this year they actually should be bad.
They really will be bad this year.
Like this year they'll actually be terrible. And then, I mean, unless Shea Gilgeous-Alexander's an MVP, but
that's gonna be tough.
I could see like even the Kings at 14, like being 3 or 4 games out of the 10 spot.
Yeah. It's not going to be that. Yeah, I don't think it's going to be that much of a difference between the rest of those teams there. Like the couple teams I have above them, I don't think you're going to be that much higher them in that win column. So
yeah. So who do you have at 12? Oh, 13.
I have the Grizzlies.
I have the Pelicans here at 13.
Woo!
Is that really that big of a shock though?
I don't know, man. Everyone's big on the Zion train, obviously. I think the Grizzlies are taking a step back just because Jaren Jackson is going to be hurt for a good amount of the year. He's coming off a meniscus tear, which is not the worst thing in the world, but I just see them. I don't think they're going to be fighting for a playoff spot like they were this year.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that again, a lot like the East. I know this is a cop out, but this is how I feel.
All right,
these are going to be very tightly contested.
Yeah.
So these are all interchangeable, but I'm putting the Pelicans here. Am I crazy thinking what is like? Is that not a weird fit? Look at their starting 5.
Yeah.
Are projected at least. I don't know if this is how it's going to be. Mm-hmm. Lonzo starting, right? Am I wrong in thinking he'll start?
Yeah, he's probably going to start, yeah.
Then who's at the 2? Are you putting Bledsoe there?
Probably Bledsoe, yeah.
So then Ingram at the 3.
Mm-hmm.
2. At the 4, you have Zion, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
And then Steven Adams. Who's shooting on that team?
Yeah, it is a weird fit.
Is there a single shooter?
It's a weird fit. Brandon Ingram is a sneaky. Like I think he's shot close to 40% from last year, from 3
right,
last
but if
year.
Brandon Ingram is your best shooter,
Yeah. How much is that going to be able to?
I mean,
help?
Lonzo's a good shooter actually now too. But is that something that we can expect to see continue though?
Mm-hmm. I think with him, it's just if he's not hesitating out there to shoot it. Like if he has open shot, he needs to shoot it.
Right.
That's my biggest thing too. Even with non-shooters like that, like if you just don't shoot it at all, then guys aren't going to guard you out there, and then it's going to be so much more clogged in the paint for everybody else too. So
yeah,
with Lonzo, and now he's at a point too where he's not that bad of a shooter. Yeah, you're right. He's not that bad of a 3-point shooter now. And he just needs to be more. He needs to be just more confident in his jump shot. JJ Redick, I heard that he was like letting him have it in practice or something like that the other day.
Yeah, that's
like,
something I was about to say. I saw that too. But like, is there like closing lineups for JJ's out there?
It's a possibility. I think
Over Bledsoe?
I think you can close. I think you can close with Zion at the 5. So
Yeah.
I think there's gonna be possibilities where you have Zion at the 5, Brandon Ingram at the 4.
I guess it would depend on who you're playing, because any competent center would just annihilate Zion.
Yeah, like if you're playing like Denver or something like that, that's not going to be a recipe for success there.
Or even any center with any athleticism is going to just feast all over Zion.
I have a little bit more hope in him. Defensively against some of those bigger guys. He's strong as a bull, dude. It's insane. It's insane. I have him a little bit. I have him a little bit higher than you do at 13 though.
What you had him at 11? Is that what you said?
No.
Okay. Well, we won't spoil it. We won't spoil it.
We'll get there.
No, you had the Grizzlies at 13.
I have Grizzlies 13. Yeah.
So I have the Pelicans at 13. I don't think their superstar player, or I guess superstar, is in his second year. He barely played.
Yep.
Brandon Ingram is still a young player who's coming into his own. Lonzo's still sort of trying to figure his niche in the NBA.
Yep.
I don't think it's crazy to say this team is not a playoff team yet.
They have a new coach. Stan Van Gundy is going to be there.
True, Stan Van Gundy's the coach.
And I think historically he hasn't really been a coach that has a lot of pace in his game.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm curious to see like how they're going to look in the half court too, because I think transition wise, I mean, there's not a lot of teams that are better than them just running up and down the court, which is going to be really fun to watch.
They might be the best. So
yeah, in that aspect, if you're able to kind of like force turnovers and just get to running and stuff like that, then I mean, even on made baskets, you've seen Lonzo just take the ball and just chuck it. So, and if they're out and running and stuff like that, they're gonna be a really fun team to watch. But 13, I have more hope in it.
Just think about if any other Pelicans fans are angry. Just think about how insane the West is.
Yes, it is deep.
So at 12, I have the Spurs.
Okay.
I think the Spurs could actually be terrible.
Yeah.
Like I think the Spurs could, like if things go wrong, I could honestly see the Spurs finish last.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like things have to go horribly wrong, obviously. But like
injuries and stuff too. Yeah.
Maybe you look at the roster. Yeah, exactly. You have some solid young players. DeJounte Murray is really nice. Obviously, amazing defender.
Mm-hmm.
Derek White's a good young player. Didn't he? He just got a bag. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I think he got paid. He got an extension.
So, but it's just like, like Spurs fans are really high on that young talent and get angry when people don't bring it up. But it's like, look at some of the young talent across the league.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't put their young talent in the top 5 of even the Western Conference. Really,
no, honestly. I don't even know if I'd put it in the top 10 in the West.
It'd be tough too. Yeah, it'd be tough too.
And then Aldridge is aging. DeRozan is aging, but DeRozan was good last year. But again, like you said, does DeRozan even finish the season on the team?
Yeah, there's a possibility of him getting traded. You're right.
Rudy Gay too is getting older. Again, a trade candidate as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I just don't know.
That's your 12.
That's my 12. Yeah.
At 12, okay, I have the Spurs at 11. So at 12, I have the T-Wolves.
Yeah.
So, they got Rubio's back there. They got Rubio back there. They got D'Angelo Russell and Cat for a year together.
Mm-hmm.
It's really interested to see what they do there. Not huge on D'Angelo Russell. What do you feel about D'Angelo Russell? What's your just initial D'Angelo Russell take?
Is it weird to say like overrated / underrated? I think by like
There's
a lot
little
of
bit of that.
Instagram casual NBA fans, he's very overrated.
Uh-huh.
But then I think by like maybe like super hardcore basketball nerds, maybe a little underrated.
Yeah. They don't like that he doesn't get to the free throw line a lot.
Yeah.
A little bit isolation heavy. His vision is insane though. I feel like he doesn't utilize it as much. I think I want to see him off ball now with the Rubio as his point guard. I think that'll be interesting to see how he kind of plays in that role. I mean, if Towns is shooting 10 threes a game,
40%.
I mean, 40% from there too. Anthony Edwards is going to be an interesting guy
best shooting big of all time. This is coming from a Dallas fan.
I mean, he's going to get there volume wise. I mean, he's shooting much more than Dirk would have ever shot, but I don't know. You think
I'm sorry, dude. Shooting 10 threes a game at 40% as a 7-foot center is nuts.
It is very impressive. You're right.
Like, obviously, I'm not saying he's better than Dirk. I would never in my life say that. Dirk revolutionized the game.
Right. But I respect you for that. Though. Anyways, Timberwolves. It's gonna. I want to. It's gonna be fun to see. I think Anthony Edwards in a position to where there's other smart basketball players around him, so where he can kind of just run around and just be an athlete like he is.
Really good defensively, at least.
Yeah, and he's gonna have to cover up some holes because D'Angelo's not really guarding anybody. Ricky Rubio is a pretty good defender, team defender, and he just knows where to be. He's in the right spots for the most part. He's gonna have to be the person that's checking, the best perimeter players on the other end of the court. But just with that, I didn't want to put him over the Spurs at 11. I guess I still have faith in like just what it is the Spurs are like in terms of Popovich and even RC Buford and stuff like that too. But I couldn't put him above the Spurs. But the other teams I just thought were just better than them. So I have him at 12. There's a possibility. I could see them playing really well. Maybe D'Angelo averages 20 and some change. Cat has another awesome big man year, and they can sneak their way into that 10 seed. But if I put them there at that 10 seed, that's dropping a good team out of the play-in tournament. So I just had some trouble putting them above some of those other teams.
So they're your 12?
They're my 12 team. Yeah, my 12 seed. Yeah.
At 11, I have the Grizz.
11, you have the Grizz. Okay.
Who's your 11?
11 is the Spurs.
Spurs.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have the Grizz at 11. You had them, at 13?
Grizz have at 13, yeah.
I guess a lot for me is Jaren Jackson. Mm-hmm. If he comes back and looks like he looked before his injury, I think they'll be pretty good.
Yeah.
But they're obviously still
not
very
terrible.
Young. Right, yeah. They're still very young.
Mm-hmm.
So, like them, and obviously they were the 8 seed, looked like they're making the playoffs, and then sort of collapsed in on themselves. But again, they're a young team. Like, it just is what it is. They got a lot of young talent.
Yeah.
I mean, some of the best in the league, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, I know no one wants to hear about my fantasy basketball team, but I took him pretty high this year. I think he's gonna have a really good year. I don't think the team's gonna be very good, but I do think he's gonna have a really good year too. So, it's gonna be interesting to see what leap he can take from year 1 to year 2.
And you can ask any of the group how much in love I was with Jaren Jackson before the draft.
Yeah, you did love Jaren. I do remember that. I do remember that actually. I remember that. Yeah, I mean he's a freak athlete. He can shoot the three pretty well too for how big he is. Athletically, he's a monster, dude. He's just a big body, 6'10". I heard he grew a little bit too. Someone said that he's close to 7 feet now.
Wow. Just a perfect big.
Yeah, it's a great big for today's game, but I don't know. I'm interested to see. I don't know how long he's going to be out for. A meniscus tear is not like at the end of the world or anything. Right. It's still kind of tough, but it's not the end of the world. So we'll see how they do. I just think that I don't think they didn't really make a lot of moves in the offseason. I didn't see them getting much better. And I saw some other teams getting a little bit better too, whether that be from health or just adding guys.
Right. But they still have, they have like Brandon Clark. Mm-hmm. I like the Desmond Bane pick. They got a lot of really solid young talent.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to be good. Jonas too. Valanciunas.
Valanciunas is still there.
Like one of the most forgotten players in the NBA, honest to God.
Yeah. Yep. He's still there. Solid big man.
Yeah. I like the Grizz. But again, the West is just stupid.
You have him at 11?
I have him at 11. And I have the Timberwolves at 10.
Oh, you have Timberwolves at 10. So they're getting in the play. They're getting the play-in, that last play-in spot for you.
I mean, I'm not going to lie. I put them at 10 just to avoid any crazy hot takes because I was toying with them at 7. 8.
Whoa.
They're good. I think they're going to be good.
You're a big cat guy.
I love Karl Anthony Towns.
Okay.
I don't know what it is. Brett and I always like opposite players. So Brett obviously hates Cat. I love Cat. I've never really been a big D'Angelo Russell guy.
Okay.
But I really like his fit now. He's going to be, I guess, for the Warriors last year, but really this will be the first time where he's not a number one.
Yeah.
Which I guess, you can make the argument that he still is the number one because would you consider a center your number one or like a guard, a scoring heavy guard as your number one?
Yeah, it's tough to say. In this league, usually it's been guards and stuff like that are like your best players. The perimeter guys, at least, are your best players.
Yeah.
Which is crazy to think. I mean, back in the day, you always felt like you needed like a dominant center to win a championship. But yeah, it's definitely shifted a little bit. So I would still, I mean, talent-wise, I think Towns is definitely their best player. But,
100%.
But I could see Russell averaging the most points a game on the team. I could see him averaging 20 and some change. So
100%. And then Ricky Rubio, I love the addition. Super underrated.
Yeah.
Like that was even in the offseason video where we're talking about Chris Paul to the Suns. Like Chris Paul is obviously an upgrade over Ricky Rubio, but Ricky Rubio was very good for the Suns.
Yeah, he helped them out a lot. Just allowing D-Book to play a little bit off the ball there. And that's what I think he's going to help out Russell being able to play off the ball a little bit too.
Right. And obviously, he has ties to Minnesota. I don't even know if anybody – did he ever play with Cat? I think he did.
Did he? Yeah, I guess so. Because he got shipped off in 2000.
How many years did he spend on the Jazz? 2?
2 years, I think. Yeah.
And a year on the Suns.
And then a year with Phoenix. So yeah, I guess I don't know. It feels like an eternity ago. He was.
It does.
The Timberwolves.
It feels like so long ago.
But yeah, he's back there now. So they actually have like a real point guard now. They were kind of just playing by ear. It felt like for the past. I mean, Teague was there.
Yeah.
Teague, I don't know. Again, not
the most boring player of all time.
Not an exciting guy on the court.
I mean, a backup point guard, fine.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
You're cool with your backup point guard being a boring, just do whatever it is you got to do.
Yeah, set the offense up, stuff like that. Yeah, but
was Jeff Teague an all-star on that Hawks team where they were all all-stars? Yeah. Interesting.
It was Jeff. Yeah, it was 4 of those guys, I think. Jeff Teague,
Korver, Horford, and Millsap, right?
Horford, Millsap, yeah.
Yeesh.
Nuts.
I know that is nuts. But then Anthony Edwards. So I've been harsh on Anthony Edwards, but upon thinking about it, obviously, if you're number one pick, you want to become a franchise-altering player.
Yeah.
But if he can just come in year one and defend like crazy,
right,
that's a win.
Yeah,
in the short term.
Place. Yeah, find your place in the league.
And they also have like Josh Okogie, who's a super good defender.
Yeah, he is.
I mean, he was clamping up Luka in the preseason game again. Preseason, take whatever you want.
And then they signed Malik Beasley too, with a little bit more than I would like, but he's going to be a good backup guard for those guys too, running the second unit a little bit. So
100%. And then Jarrett Culver. Obviously, I'm a tech guy. Culver disappointing last year, but they brought him in. He's a guard who can defend.
Yeah,
at least that's what he was at Tech. So they got low key some players who can play defense on the wing.
Yeah,
I think they're gonna be a lot better. I'm looking at this team like this team could sneak into the top 8. Like really, I think that again. Though,
I'm not that high on them. I could see them sneaking into the top 10 or into that at least a 9-10 range.
They need to be lucky because again, we're doing these projections like everyone's gonna be healthy. Obviously, that will not be the case.
Right.
So if some things go their way, I could definitely see them sneaking into the top. But here, 9 through 1. God.
Yeah. Okay. Hold on. Do we have 10? Did we put 10 up? Who's your 10?
10. My 10 were the Timberwolves.
Oh, 10 is Timberwolves. Okay. My 10 is the. Wait, who's your 11?
The Grizz.
Okay. Right. Okay. 10 for me. Okay. So 11 was the Spurs for me. 10 for me is the Warriors.
Whoa. Okay. So you have the Pelicans. Oh, you have the Pelicans high.
I have them coming up next. I have them at 9. But 10 for me, the Warriors. I think they're gonna be that last team in that play-in spot.
God, the Warriors are so hard to predict, dude.
I know. I have no idea what's really gonna happen there. Is Steph gonna just go bananas like 2015, 2016 Steph, where he's just annihilating everybody? If that's the case, then I'm sorry, Warriors fans. I'm sorry, Steph, for doubting you. I'm a huge Steph guy. I love Steph Curry, but it's just some of the other teams. It was just hard to put them above. Even the Pelicans and the Warriors, they were tough for me. It was a toss-up for me. It's just I think there's gonna be such a big load on Steph right there. I don't know if he can do that Harden type thing where just give me the ball, and they're not expecting him to just give me the ball and set screen and roll all day, but he's gonna have a lot of pressure on him. A lot of pressure on him. So
we've literally never seen him play like this.
No. I mean, earlier in his career, but he never had any of these expectations or anything, obviously. So now he's I mean, he's a 3-time champion and 2-time MVP. So we want to see what he can do in a depleted roster a little bit. So that'll be interesting. I have them at 10. Who do you have at 10 again?
10 is where I had the Timberwolves.
Oh, Timberwolves. Okay. Yeah. So, yeah, 10 for the Warriors for me.
And then 9 you had the Pelicans?
9 I have Pelicans, yeah.
Who do you have at 9? Jazz at 9.
Oh, you dropped them pretty low. Okay. All right.
It's just, I think, God, I don't know, dude. I think these top 10 is going to be, or the top 9 at least, will be so contested.
It's tough. Yeah.
Like, it could be like in the West, it's always like this where the 7 or 8 seed is like separated by 2 games from the 4 seed.
Yeah, and that's how it was last year, too.
Right. So it's like saying that I think the Jazz are the 9 seed aren't saying like I think the Jazz are trash.
Yeah, right.
It's just how I see these things shaping up because obviously, like, I don't know. I like the Jazz.
Mm-hmm.
Donovan Mitchell obviously went nuts.
Mm-hmm.
Is that sustainable over an entire season? No.
Yeah, probably not.
They re-signed Gobert to a massive contract. Do they have to do it? You can make the argument.
Kind of.
Like, would you rather have Gobert on whatever it is, $40 million a year, or go and get, minimum centers who can defend and build your roster up elsewhere? It's tough, though, because you're Utah. Like, you're not bringing in people.
Yeah, who's going to come sign with Utah?
Right.
Unless Donovan Mitchell can kind of have that gravitas, I guess.
I was actually thinking about this. The NBA is the only league like that, period.
Yeah.
No other league is like that. Like, the NFL, players go wherever they want. Like,
yeah, it's not really dictated on markets like that.
Like, think about Green Bay. Like, Green Bay is in a smaller city than Milwaukee. Green Bay is like I think the Lambeau Field holds more people than the entire population of Green Bay.
Does it really?
Yeah.
That's insane, bro.
Well, obviously, it's like a Milwaukee suburb, so it's like Milwaukee.
Yeah.
But.
Yeah, right. That's crazy. Yeah, no, but yeah, you're right. That's just it's not the same scenario where I don't know if the NFL does revenue sharing like the NBA does.
No, NBA has the highest revenue share across major sports.
That makes sense. I mean, the lower market teams really need that stuff for.
Actually, MLB might be higher. I know MLB does a big time.
Okay. But yeah, it's the Utah at 9. I have them a little bit higher than that. For 9, I have the Pelicans there. Right. That's where I see them kind of ending up. They
have a high ceiling.
Yeah, I have a little bit higher hopes for. There's a big drop off for Utah though. I think they're just a good regular season team. So
I'm looking at the roster and I'm hard
in the first round.
I'm hard on them looking at the roster.
When is Bogdanovich coming back? How do we know that?
Is he back already? Is he gonna miss any time?
I would hope because they missed him a lot in that playoff series.
Yeah, big time.
And I mean everyone is. I mean at least even for myself, Jamal Murray coming out of the bubble, I was like, man, Jamal Murray. But Donovan Mitchell was playing insane basketball in that series. If it wasn't Mike Conley almost made that 3-pointer. I mean, it could have been them in that second round versus the Clippers. So I mean, I still have them as a good regular season team. Not really making noise in the playoffs or anything like that, but I still have them as a good regular season team. But you're right though; it's only going to be separated by a few games. So
that's the thing.
Out in a couple of ways.
It's like I don't think even like the 5 or 4 seed. I'm not saying that they're like insurmountably better than the Jazz. It's just how I think these things shape up. I don't know.
Right. Yeah.
They do have, like, I'm just looking at their team. It's like I love that they brought back Jordan Clarkson to score off the bench. He's just a walking bucket. Yeah. Mike Conley, like, is he gonna like what's obviously he was disappointing last year, but if he turns into a where he maybe not where he was at one point, obviously, but into a more serviceable player, that'll be huge.
Yeah.
I love that they brought back Derek Favors. I've always wanted Derek Favors to be a Maverick.
Yeah, he's back. Yeah, he's back with Utah, and I think that's going to help a little bit, which for those backup center minutes a little bit too. So, Clarkson, I think they paid him.
Yeah, and I like that. I didn't like it at the time, but then after watching them in the bubble, like Jordan Clarkson obviously was ginormous for them.
He was big for them, a little bit bigger than I would honestly like.
But he just scores, and he doesn't pass. Yeah, he will not pass. He will not play defense, but he will shoot and he'll score.
He's confident. He's a confident player for sure.
So that's where I had maybe a little bit lower. So who do you? So at 9 you had the Warriors.
10 I have Warriors.
Oh, 10 you had Warriors. 9 you had Pelicans.
9 Pelicans. Yeah.
So who do you have at 8?
8 I have the Phoenix Suns.
That's where I have them too.
You have them too. Okay. All right.
8.
I didn't want to be too. I didn't want to ride the hype too much.
Yeah, me either.
I think they're gonna be a good team. I didn't want to get. I didn't want to drink the Kool-Aid there, but I think they're gonna be a solid 8 seed. And I think they could go higher than that too. So, Chris Paul being there, obviously, it's gonna be awesome to see him with Booker playing in that sort of with Booker being able to play more off ball like he was able to do with Rubio, but now there's a scoring threat with the point guard with Chris Paul there. I don't know, man. I'm really interested to see what Phoenix can do this year.
Yeah, I love the Suns team. I love Devin Booker. I've always loved DeAndre Ayton. Can he stay on the court?
Okay, you're a big Ayton. You're an Ayton guy.
I like Ayton. I think he'll do very well with Chris Paul.
Pretty polarizing player.
Well, it's just, can he stay on the court? Like he's been, he's made some dumb decisions.
Yeah.
Off the court.
Yeah. But yeah, I think Chris Paul is going to help him a lot, though. You're right.
I think so too. Right. But like I said when I was talking about the Timberwolves, like Ricky Rubio was very good for them last year. Mm-hmm. But obviously, Chris Paul brings a lot more. Like you said, Chris Paul brings that playmaking ability, but also the scoring threat.
Yeah, he can score the basketball.
And
too.
He's a closer, which will be big for this young team.
Yeah,
if they get in those games.
Book is a great closer too. But having someone else there, to close games too, if maybe Book doesn't have that night or something like that, is going to be a good idea. So, dude, Chris Paul. I mean, what he did to that Thunder team was huge, man. For them to almost beat the Rockets in the first round this year, when everyone wrote them off, and now for him to go to a Phoenix team that has been just wants to go to the playoffs so bad.
Yeah.
They haven't been there in like 10 years, I think. I think 2010 when they almost beat the Lakers in the conference finals. In 2010 with Steve Nash kind of on his last leg and stuff like that.
Was that Stats last year there too, or was he already gone?
Who?
Sotomayor?
Sotomayor? No, I think he was already gone. 2010, I think he already went to the Knicks.
Yeah, I think so too.
Grant Hill was there. Alvin Gentry was their coach. But that was I think Goran Dragic was there too. That was I think it was the last time they went to the playoffs. They've been in a really tough spot for a long time now. So I'm happy for Phoenix fans, and Phoenix is a destination. Like NBA players, I mean, a lot of people love Arizona and love Phoenix.
Used to be a free agent destination.
Yeah,
but obviously they've been shit. So
they've been really bad for a long time now.
I mean, do you remember the LaMarcus Aldridge stuff? Like it was between the Spurs and the Suns at one point.
Yeah, I remember. I was so mad because the Lakers didn't even. I think we got a meeting with him, but it went terrible.
Yeah, I remember because he's from Dallas. So
yeah, he's from Dallas.
Mavs fans thought, but of course, Mavs fans, come on.
Yeah. I mean, I like Phoenix. I like Phoenix this year. I could see them going above the team who I have next, just because I think they can be in flux. Who I have in the 7th seed. So
who is the Rockets?
Seed? Yeah,
I have the Warriors at 7.
I have the Warriors at 7. Okay, you're higher than them, and I am.
It's just like I don't know. I don't want to be wrong. Like I would rather them. Like this is exactly how I was last year. Like I remember Brett and I were saying in the preview, like I don't think. Like I remember us being like, we don't think that the Warriors are gonna make the playoffs. So we don't want to say it.
Yeah. So you just wanted to put them there, just as respect.
But it's like I think the roster though is good. Mm-hmm. Like Kelly Oubre, Wiggins. I mean, you have to be high on Wiggins, which I'm not at all. I think Warriors fans are setting themselves up for heartbreak.
Disappointment.
Because I've seen some of them say like Wiggins could be an all-star this year. Ooh, I don't know. No, I don't know if you guys have watched Wiggins, but no.
I think if he can play off ball and then he's gonna be a smart cutter and stuff like that. Draymond can find him definitely just because of how much attention that Steph carries. The Warriors, man, they're in such an interesting place. I don't know if they're just gonna give Steph the keys and just let him do whatever he wants, or they're just gonna kind of not necessarily use him as a decoy. I think he's still gonna get a lot of shots up, but I think they might use him as just running off the screens just to sort of scare everybody, so everyone else has the court open so Wiggins can maybe have a one-on-one on the weak side or something like that, because Steph came off of a pin, like a double screen or something like that, and Wiggins can kind of work out over there. I have him a little bit lower than that, but I can see them creeping up a little bit there.
I'm also very high on James Wiseman, but I'm looking at the roster.
Yeah.
Damn, they're so dependent on Steph. If something were to happen to Steph again, they're going to be the worst team in the West again.
They're going to drop fast. Yeah, 100%.
And if Curry is not at an MVP level, they might miss the playoffs even if he's healthy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Curry has to play out of his mind.
Like if Clay were healthy, and if Draymond didn't, like Draymond has looked like utter trash now. For the last 2 years. And I know he says he's a 16-game player. We've said this before. He cannot be a 16-game player. He's got to be a 72-game player.
Yeah. I don't know if it's a lack of motivation for him or if it's really like him just kind of...
I think he's just a playoff...
On the decline.
That too, and he's just a playoff player. Like that absurd defense.
Yeah. They're gonna be I'm gonna try to watch a lot of Warriors games this year. I'm gonna be interested to see how they play.
So you have the Rockets at 7. I have them at 6.
I have the Rockets at 7. Harden. I mean, who knows what's gonna happen there? I mean, John Wall and Boogie. If this was 2013, this would be awesome. But
they have looked pretty good in preseason, though.
They really have. And I'm such a John Wall guy, dude. I mean, you were graduated 2013 too, right? So
yes.
we're the same age. John Wall was huge for us, bro. Like that John Wall high school mixtape was like the most legendary the most legendary high school mixtape ever. Like that's like move the culture. I felt like, man. So John Wall, I hope the best for him too. So, but I mean, Harden's doing more of the same. Did you see that play where he was I think he drove, kicked it out to the corner to Daniel House, and then he stood on the baseline, like short corner. Daniel House drove right past him and then threw him a behind the back pass. And he just was not ready at all. Like he wasn't even paying attention, dude. The ball hit him in the stomach and then he reached for it and just turnover. And it's just more of the same. Like
it's ugly.
More of the same off ball stuff. Like when he doesn't have the ball, he's not interested. So
I kind of like, obviously we have him one spot different, but like,
yeah,
that Harden situation will not end pretty. It just can't. I think it's too far gone.
Yeah, I think so too.
And I don't know if it ends this offseason. I mean, people are like in recent days that you've heard shit like trade talks are like super heating up, but then like they'll die.
Yeah, I saw the other day that Miami's pulled themselves from trade negotiations.
Right,
there.
like I saw Miami trade talks were heating up, and then they're done. But then I also saw like they're always on the table. Like I don't know.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, have you watched him in any interviews or anything like that when he does media?
I haven't watched any interviews, but he seems checked out.
Yeah, he just doesn't. Yeah,
I saw today he got in a fight with a teammate at practice.
Oh, did he? With who?
I think it was yesterday. It was some like dude I've never even heard of, to be honest with you.
Oh, they're already fighting his teammates.
But I mean that stuff happens, right? Like whatever. Yeah. But obviously, if you're in the situation Harden's in, it looks worse.
It looks for sure.
But he looks. I mean, there was that weird training video where he looked super in shape.
Yeah.
And then the next day at the game, he looks like he's put on 30 pounds. Like,
dude,
it didn't make
I
any sense.
don't get it, man. I know. I don't get it. Like, his body just fluctuates so much.
I mean, I don't want to be like, I don't want to just speculate on people's lives, but you go out the night before, drink a lot of alcohol, eat some pizza before you go to bed.
You feel it?
You're pretty bloated the next day.
Yeah, he was. I mean, someone asked him a question. They're like, "So what have you been doing in Vegas and in Miami?" And stuff
I
like
did see that. He was like training.
He's like, my trainers are out there or something.
Oh, yeah, it's a bad situation.
I mean, but they're one of those teams where I don't know. I could see him just going on a tear and just being like, "All right, I'm here. I'm going to play." Or I could see him getting traded. And then falling to like the 11 or 12 seed.
Yeah.
I mean, if he's out of there, if he's gone, I mean, it depends on who they trade for.
Right.
If he's gone, they're not a good roster. Like, they don't have a good roster.
Because like if they do trade for Ben Simmons, that like John Wall and Ben Simmons it's a terrible nonsensical fit. Makes no sense.
Right? No.
And
even if they trade for Embiid, if they trade for Embiid too. I mean, Embiid and Boogie together. I mean, we saw Boogie and AD play pretty well together, but AD is a little bit more flexible and malleable than Embiid is.
I mean, even Embiid and John Wall, you're almost at the same exact weird spot Embiid was in Philly.
Yeah. My point guard is clogging the paint. Yeah, definitely.
So
I got him at 7.
But if James Harden plays and is James Harden, they're gonna make the playoffs.
Yeah, 100%.
Like they're gonna make the playoffs.
Yeah.
So
7, you have the Warriors.
7, I have the Warriors. 6, I have the Rockets. So who do you have at 6?
6, I got. I think you're gonna be a little upset with me, dude. I got the Mavs.
No, that doesn't upset me because I have the Mavs at 5.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I have the Mavs at 6. I love their roster this year. I think I love the Josh Richardson pickup, dude. I think they got better. Luka obviously is only going to get better. Spooked about KP. Have we heard anything about KP? Do we know anything?
They just say January, like mid-January.
Say January. Okay.
But it's like this happened last year where it kept getting pushed back and pushed back and pushed back.
Dwight Powell's already playing though, right?
Dwight Powell has been playing, yeah.
Yeah, so that's gonna be helpful at least just to have play the minutes in that role there.
Dwight Powell's one of those funny players where like non-Mavericks fans are like, man, Dwight Powell's a really solid, underrated player, and Mavs fans are like, no.
I hate.
I don't want to say hate, but like it's almost like non-Mavs fans have like overvalued him.
Yeah.
To
Seeing him
maybe,
from the outside.
yeah.
Yeah, like, man, he's a good 4. He can set hard screens, roll to the basket. He can make an open jump shot.
Right.
He can pass on the short roll too. So yeah, you're right. That is one of those things too. I watch a good amount of Mavs games just being here in Dallas anyway. So I still like his game, but
He's a good player for sure.
I can see how he frustrates. I see how he frustrates, especially how other people might view him. But I don't know. I have Dallas at 6 though. Just because the other teams I have ahead of them, I felt like either got better or are just typically really good regular season teams. I could see Luka just having an incredible year. I'm kind of worried at how quick people are just chalking him, just giving him the MVP.
Yeah.
I think he has the lowest odds. I think he's a favorite to win MVP right now. But it's
I have an interesting take on that we'll share. No. We'll share it because we're going to talk about the MVP stuff.
Okay. All right.
So we'll share that in the next video. You guys are going to have to tune in.
Yes,
wink,
sir.
wink.
Yeah, I have him at 6 though.
Yeah. I mean, I agree with everything you said. Like,
yeah,
I think that a best case scenario, I think this team, again, because all of this will be highly contested in my mind at least.
Yep. Yeah.
So all these teams were really close. But if the Mavs, if everything goes right, I mean, they could be a 2-3 seed.
Yeah.
If Luka is the MVP, KP comes back and is healthy.
Yeah.
Richardson is a most improved player candidate, which I've seen some people think that he could be. Mm-hmm. Obviously you have Rick Carlisle, who's one of the best coaches in the NBA, gets the most out of everybody.
Yeah.
Then a lot of people thought they had one of the best drafts, or at least from where they were picking.
Yeah.
Tyrell Terry, Green, who's an amazing defender. The other Bay brother, who's a really good defender. Mm-hmm. So they made good moves. They're better defensively, which was their big weakness.
Yep.
They're going to be a good team.
Yeah,
obviously, KP's injury is spooky because they're obviously much, much, much better if KP's there.
Right.
And I think maybe you're putting a little too much of a load on Luka if he's not. But again, though, Trey Burke came to the team and went from out of the league to looking like, an amazing
Allen Iverson reincarnated.
Right. Like Rick will always get the most out of his offense. Yeah, always, no matter what.
Yeah.
So that's comforting to know. And also Brunson's back. That's something that
yeah, you're right.
I don't think non-Mavs fans realize the importance of that because he's an amazing bench leader, like point guard off the bench, and he plays with Luka all the time too, and they coexist together very well.
Yeah, they're gonna be a good team. They're gonna be a really fun team to watch. Obviously, still too. I want to see. We're probably gonna see a little bit more Willie Cauley-Stein too, which we might get some. We might see some fun alley-oops, stuff like that.
Dude, Willie Cauley-Stein was hitting threes.
Wait, was he?
Yeah,
in the preseason,
pulling up.
Really?
Yes, and he was hitting them. I was seeing Willie Cauley-Stein go off the dribble and pull up mid-range and hitting them.
I'm gonna go check the tape. I want to see how that jumper is looking.
It's preseason. But he was hitting them.
That's insane. If he's doing some crazy stuff like that, you're gonna have to rely on him a little bit more though, for sure. In this,
right, and also if Willie Cauley-Stein's shooting threes and missing them, he will be out of the game immediately. With Rick,
he's getting pulled.
And that's also what concerns me about the rookies. Everyone thinks Tyrell Terry might have a big year. Rick is not like rookies.
No, you're right.
Luka was the exception. Mm-hmm. Dennis Smith, that roster was terrible.
Yeah,
that Mavs roster was horrendous. So Dennis Smith was like
our
best
option. You have to really earn your minutes. You really have to earn your minutes.
Yeah. So don't be surprised if Tyrell Terry has a 5-game stretch where he doesn't play.
Just a DNP. Yeah, you're right. I like the Mavs though. I could see them. I have them at 6. I could see them going higher than that. But these other teams, the next team I have at 5.
So who do you have at 5?
You have the Mavs at 5.
I have the Mavs at 5.
I have Utah at 5. This is where I have Utah.
God, I'm so low on Utah. I'm sorry, Utah fans.
No, dude, no. I understand. All these other teams have higher upside and higher potential.
But you're right though. They're a very good regular season team.
This is just what they do. They're always a middle of the pack, fighting for a 3-4 seed too. Not too many crazy changes for their roster. Adding Derek Fisher is going to help, and then Bogdanovich coming back is going to help too. But yeah, they're just a good regular season team. Mitchell is always making steps forward. And also, back to the bubble thing. Everyone was really high on the Jamal Murray sort of coming out party that he had, but Mitchell played insane basketball too. So if that can kind of carry over, obviously it's probably not gonna be sustainable. I think he had a 50 bone or something like that a couple of times too. So if he can kind of take that next leap too and be a 25 a game scorer, I don't think he's gotten a 25, 26 yet. So if he can be that kind of guy, I don't know. I don't know where that puts Conley. I don't know if if they're just gonna make the move to Mitchell being the on ball, just being the primary ball handler.
See, I think that's the next big step for Mitchell.
Just being the ball handler, just give me the ball.
Yeah.
And I feel like that could just kind of lessen Conley's role, and who knows how much value he's gonna have to add to the team. Off ball, maybe he could be a spot up shooter. I'm not sure, but yeah, I just have him at 5 just because of their track record.
Yeah.
Gobert's gonna be comfortable now because he has that contract. It'd be a whole other podcast to talk about whether or not it's worth it or not, but that's where I have him. I have him at 5.
Right. Yeah, 9 seems low, but it's just so tough.
No, I mean it's not. It seems low to me too, just because of their track record in the past few years and what they've typically done in the regular season. It's the reason why I still had them pretty high, but all these other teams the teams that you have above them so far, at least, are teams that have the opportunity to have a higher ceiling than them.
So we all have the same. We have the same top 4.
Seems like it.
So my 4 is the Clippers.
Okay. My 4 is Trailblazers.
I have the Trailblazers at 3.
Okay. All right.
So the Clippers, is it gonna be like last year where Kawhi's playing, 75% of the games?
Yeah.
Paul George is barely playing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I kind of would think not, given everything that happened in the offseason. Like, maybe Tyronn Lue's like, all right, Kawhi, okay, maybe. We understand. Because also Kawhi, remember, Kawhi has, a degenerative knee.
Yeah. Yeah, what happened?
I muted my mic on accident.
Oh, there you go.
Paul George was coming off a shoulder injury, but at this point now, it's like Paul George, is it really a reason to sit him all that often?
Yeah, no.
So, I don't know. And given all of the drama with Paul George in the offseason, I wouldn't be surprised if Tyler's like, yo, Paul George, you're playing every game, or maybe we'll sit you 5 games.
Yeah, yeah.
But they didn't address their biggest need. They just didn't.
Which is a point guard?
They have no play initiator.
Yeah.
Agreed. None.
So they signed Luke Kennard.
Luke Kennard got a bag. I mean, they're paying Marcus Morris and Luke Kennard a lot of money combined.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right, though. You're 100% right. I was going to put them at – I didn't want to go that high on the Blazers. The Blazers at 3, I mean, a lot of people like the Blazers this year and deservedly so. I mean, they added Rocco. You're going to have healthy Nurkic for the whole year, too. So they're going to be a fun team. But the Clippers at 4, I could see that happening, too.
It's not like
it's not like them
it's not like them being bad. It's just, are they going to kind of coast through the regular season again?
Yeah,
which
I still think that Kawhi is still top 5, 6 player. Paul George is. I mean, I don't know, man. Paul George. Hopefully, he'll
be fine. He's overhated at this point. It was funny to shit on him, but now people have gone too far.
They're starting to. Yeah, I think they're starting to come back.
He's still a very good player.
Yeah. Even hearing did you hear what Doc Rivers had to say about what the time there and the roster and the locker room and stuff?
That it was a mess. And the thing is did they change? Who's
that
gone?
Stuff is still there. Yeah,
Montrez is it?
I can't imagine Montrez is the one man, I hate Paul George. I imagine it being Patrick Beverley or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I know Doc Rivers has a little animosity too. I think he probably has some animosity towards Paul George too. But
yes, that whole situation was very weird.
Yeah, wild. We don't have to get into that, but
yeah,
I can't imagine Montrez is the reason that maybe Paul George wasn't welcome or anything like that.
Yeah, I don't know.
And then also, the fact that they lost Montrez is going to hurt a little bit too. So them dropping to 4 is a possibility.
I mean, were they 4 last year? Or they were 2?
They were 2 seed last year.
That's right.
They were 2 seed, yeah.
So you had the Trailblazers at 4?
Trailblazers at 4.
Then who do you have at 3?
Clippers.
Okay, so our 3 and 4 are both just
flip flop.
Yeah, I love the Trailblazers roster. Obviously, they were super hurt last year.
Yeah.
But Dame is Dame.
Yep.
CJ.
Yep.
And then, like you said, Nurkic, which, I mean, you watch that dude play.
I mean, he's an awesome. I mean,
that dude's a top 5 center in the league, low key.
He's great, dude. He's great. Him and being able to initiate from the top of the key and even the 3-point line. Not really shooting from there, but at least initiate offense. Kind of can take the toll off of Dame and CJ and stuff like that. So,
I mean, he was.
Yeah, I love their roster. Yeah, I love their roster makeup. I really, really like their roster.
What was that game when him and Jonas Valanciunas were had 20 rebounds each or something like that?
Yeah. I remember
crazy shit like that.
Yeah, Nurk is a beast, man. He's a really good basketball player. I mean, I remember when him and Jokic were both in Denver. Yeah. And they're kind of like Denver was like, who do we pick? Who do we? I mean, I think they made the right choice, but it took a while for them to get off of Nurk because they knew he was a good basketball player, and he is that. So, and Robert Covington to be there to help out at that. I mean, even
position. Derek Jones, low key. I know
Derek Jones there.
His role wasn't massive on the Heat, but someone who can come in and defend.
Mm-hmm. I think Rodney Hood coming off the bench is gonna be a better role for him now too.
Right, the best 3-point shooter in the league statistically.
Rodney Hood.
Yeah. Oh no, I'm thinking of George Hill.
Oh, George. Yeah, I was gonna say Rodney Hood.
Yeah, I was thinking of George Hill.
Yeah, even that blows my mind too. But okay, 3-4 we have him there, but flip flopped. All right, so 1-2 we have the big guys.
Yeah, at 2 I have the Nuggets.
Yeah, 2 Nuggets, one Lakers.
That even could be a little too high.
No, I have that too. But why do you think that? What are you kind of off on them about?
It's like I'm not off on them. I think they're an amazing team.
Yeah.
But it's a weird because I could see like 1-2 last year we all knew was the Lakers Clippers.
Mm-hmm.
I think even 2 could be a super tightly contested. Like I think the Lakers are bar none the best team in the NBA.
Yeah.
But again though, is it like are they going to coast a little bit? I don't even really think so.
They could. I mean, I'm trying to think about how much.
But even
LeBron
then,
and Davis is going to play. But
like I think we talked about this. The Montrez edition felt almost like it was like we could sit AD now. And have like a very capable guy who's like carrying the load almost.
Right.
And even Schroeder too.
You can have an offense of pick and roll with Schroeder and Montrez 15, 20 times a game. And that's you can get through the regular season like that.
Okay, no, but let's stay on the Nuggets. So what was I saying? Oh yeah, I don't know. I guess you're like banking on Jamal Murray. Obviously not. You can't consistently just all season long do what he did in the bubble. You just can't.
Yeah, no, that was insane.
I mean, he'd have like the best season of all time.
But the confidence is there, though, at least. Like, he knows that he can play at that kind of level.
It's always been about consistency with him. So, maybe that confidence boost is, what it needs for him to be like, oh, I can do this every night.
Yeah. Yep.
Jokic is Jokic.
It hurts. I think that they're going to miss. I mean, they're really going to miss Jeremy Grant. And
I think so,
Plumlee,
too.
For sure. They're really going to miss them. I mean, they lost Torrey Craig, too.
But does Bol get more minutes? And is he...
Bol is going to have to play more. MPJ is going to have to take a step up, too.
Maybe it's a blessing in disguise. Do you get these young dudes? And we saw MPJ. That guy looks really good.
Yeah, that dude's a scorer, dude.
And an insanely good rebounder.
He's 6'10", dude. He's massive.
But just like beyond like being tall, he's just like a good-ass rebounder.
Yeah, he's in the right spot. But yeah, they're gonna have to be relying on their young guys a little bit more to get to this high of a seed. So I think for me, putting them at 2 was just I think that Murray kind of realized something about himself now. He's like, man, I don't know how he felt, walking into an NBA arena every night. I'm assuming, of course, they feel like they're a good basketball player, but for him to do that at that level, and at that stage is, I don't know. I feel like that would do something to you. So
I think so
for
too.
him to. So I think that he's going to take another step. Jokic is obviously Jokic. He's ready. He looks ready. He looks thinner too. I don't know how much that's going to help him, but at least in terms of conditioning, that's going to help. But I think they're going to be a really good team. Yeah, 2 seed seems comfortable for me. I don't know if they're going to make it to the conference finals again like they did this year.
The West is going to be a bloodbath.
The West is going to be crazy.
It's going to be
really
crazy. And then Lakers that won. Best team in basketball got better.
I
mean, LeBron just looks like he'll never stop being the best player in basketball.
Yeah. When is he gonna stop being good?
That was always the thing, though. His game just ages so well, and he hasn't really lost his athleticism, though.
No.
Everyone's always said when he loses his athleticism, he'll still have an old man game, but he hasn't lost it.
No, he hasn't. Well, my thing was his mid range wasn't at that great. Like he didn't have like that turnaround jump shot, like back to the basket, like Kobe and Michael kind of developed towards the end of their career. So like that's when I was a LeBron hater, that's always my thing. I was like, when it was Kobe LeBron, when people were arguing about that, I would always say like, man, once LeBron loses athleticism, he's gonna be trash, bro. He can't shoot jump shots. One, he hasn't lost his athleticism still, which is it's crazy.
There's honest to God now. Was it somebody asked like, is LeBron the most athletic human being of all time?
I think he has to be, right? Bo Jackson might be up there.
Right. I mean, to the course of human history, I don't know. Maybe there was some dude in the, 800s who is just absurdly athletic. But like
That's LeBron James.
But LeBron is like I don't think there's ever been an athlete who's taken better care of their bodies.
No.
And has been in peak physical condition. I mean, it's literally like remarkable.
Yeah. His apex is like from 2008 to now. Like he's still in his like peak.
Yeah, it's absurd.
I don't understand. Like,
and then knock on wood, no injuries. Obviously, you had 2018, 2019, but that was like if the Lakers were good.
Yeah.
I don't know if he misses that much time.
Agreed. Yeah, I think he tries to come back a little bit sooner. I think he kind of knew it was a wash anyways. So,
but the fact that like you have a 6'10" athletic freak who is the best. I'm sorry, the best point guard of all time. He just did, like if LeBron's a point guard, is LeBron not the best point guard of all time?
If he's a point guard, that's where we're putting him at, and basically he is, man.
He is
at this point in his career. He's definitely transitioned to that point guard role, that point guard position.
I mean, it's just 6'10" with his passing ability and vision. Oh my God, it's absurd.
Yeah, it's. I mean, it's yeah.
And Anthony Davis is a perfect fit for him.
Oh, agreed. Yeah. And Davis, have you seen the shots Davis has been hitting in the preseason?
Yeah, AD.
I dribble up threes, sidestep, like just oh my God.
I thought ESPN's ranking of LeBron being the best player in the NBA and then AD being number 2 was a little crazy.
A little biased.
But I don't know. I don't know if I could say that a second best player on their team is the second best player in the NBA. But dude, there's times where AD is the best player on that team. Like no disrespect to LeBron.
No. He plays that well. He plays at points where he's the best player on the floor. He definitely is the best player on the floor at points.
Like a 7-footer who can score from anywhere. Stupid athletic. One of the best defenders in the NBA.
Yeah, I mean, defensively as an anchor, I mean, that dude's just, he's, number one, man. They're number one. That's a wrap.
I mean, there is a scenario where they coast a little bit. Maybe they get the 2 seed or something, but I mean, we all know what's coming more than likely.
Yeah. No, agreed.
Okay, so that's it for our West and East predictions. Thank you for watching the video. If you enjoyed it and would like more content, click here or here to subscribe. If you want to watch more videos, click here or here to watch more videos. Isn't that right, Mr. Finney? Isn't that right?